Okay, I'm on different headphones than usual, so just let me know if I break up or can't be heard or anything.
Yep.
You sound good.
Okay. The session begins with the continuation of the extravagant meal provided by the Mystic Inn. The second meal is some kind of fresh, citrusy fruit which everyone ends up enjoying despite some misgivings at first. Erastus specifically asks some questions to Pan about the meal, to which Pan replies that they practically grew up eating fish, so this meal is almost nostalgic to them, prompting Shakulu to ask about where Pan came from. Pan explains their origins and how they came to be with the group. They end by saying that no matter what happened to them along the way, everything was worth it so they could meet the party. Gretna tells her origins as well, detailing her upbringing in Athkatla. She also speaks about someone she fell in love with who died trying to stop the slavery in the region. She met the group in Luskan, assisting them in stopping a bank robbery. In between these conversations, the other courses are brought out, including dragon steaks and a crystalline figure of a woman which cracked to reveal the actual meal. After Sio tells Gretna that she has a message from Fentrix, Xiles asks if everyone is ready for the second to last course, which is going to be the Beholder. Everyone but Umbra wants to try it, but Umbra is going to take a substitute. Everyone begins to eat their food, and everyone gets a bit high and loses their cares for a bit, except Max, whose skin also becomes black and he grows small horns. He begins speaking in Abyssal and almost starts a confrontation with Umbra, but manages to come to his senses before any fight actually breaks out. Max apologizes and leaves the dinner. A man is waiting outside the dinner room and begins to talk to Max. The rest of the party turns to Umbra and asks what Max said, and Umbra explains some of what they had talked about, but stands up and says he is going to check on Max. Zio follows to go with him, and together they go through the circle. Erastus immediately turns to the rest of the group and says that if that ever happens again, he is going to make sure that Max can't hurt anyone else. Gretna says that she won't fight Max if that happens, but will banish him back to where he came from. Xiles brings out the final course, which Erastus, Gretna, Shakulu, and Pan enjoy, with Gretna taking Max's portion while Pan saves Umbra's and Sio's for them. Meanwhile, Max begins his talking with a mysterious figure who tells Max that he is exactly where he is supposed to be. When Sio and Umbra come down, the man begins speaking. Sio says that she is going to take Max to the rooms, and the man responds, "Okay, Sio, but just know that the next time I speak with you, it may be too late." This stops Sio, as she had never given this man her name. The man introduces himself as Jace and says that he has information for the group, but that he wants to speak with the whole group. Sio, Umbra, and Max agree, and Sio messages Erastus to hurry down because something is wrong. Jace info dumps hints to the party in the little time he has. He tells Pan that Tritons are sea elves, don't question it. He tells Umbra not to go to Darksun. He tells Erastus not to look at things in such black and white details, also don't go to Hoi Hoi as bad things will happen. He tells Sio, your brother is a lost cause, give up on him, and Baba Yaga is your mother. And he tells Max that you have to find the solution to your demon blood on your own, as it would mess up the time. Jace starts a blister and says that there is an item in both the Feywild and the Shadowfell that, if we manage to get a hold of them, they would allow him to stay in this plane of existence. If the party finds themselves in either of those places, they should try and get those items. He disappears, and Erastus immediately declares his intent to go to a Hoi Hoi. The session ends with some of the party trying to convince Erastus not to go, with the exception of Sio, who agrees to go with him. And that fun conversation is where we start off.
Cool.
Erastus is in his room right now. He went to sleep.
I think we did decide to go to sleep and discuss this
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah, we did.
I will actually stop Gretna before she takes a long rest. And I'm gonna hold up my inky purple hands from the Faerun poison. You don't happen to have a spare restoration, do you?
I got nothing. I'm tired and beaten, limped and everything.
What were you doing?
I'm not gonna ask questions, but I'll just see you in the morning.
I'll do it in the morning for you.
I appreciate it.
I'll save one for you. Bye. And I go to sleep too.
Shakulu, I'm gonna say he's been standing at the threshold to their room, 'cause it's not his room, and he takes another gulp from his flask, and he goes, well, I'm going out for a night on the town. I thought this would end somewhat more jovially, so I'm gonna have my good time at least. If anyone wishes to join me, please.
Well, so if you do that, you can. The only thing is, remember, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning. You just have to figure out where you're getting your long rest.
Okay. You know what? No, I'm gonna say Rick on that. He just goes to sleep because like this is the first good few days of sleep they get. So yeah. Actually, I never lost the 5 temporary HP from the last time I used Fighting Spirit. Does that just stay? Because at no point does it say it wears off.
Fighting Spirit, what's it from again?
Samurai.
Samurai. Let me post the whole thing.
It doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't stack.
Okay,
I
so I
believe
just
that's right.
cool.
Yeah.
Permanent temp HP until I get whacked.
A, tempor-
I
a
think that's
permanent
right.
temporary or a shield.
Yeah, Seo at that point would apologize to Shikuru for not taking him up on that offer to dance, but it seems that with everything on our minds, it would probably be more enjoyable to hold off, and she'll take a rain check and see him to the door as he goes to his own hotel.
Uh, Shikulu just mumbled something about I respect the stubbornness of all of you, but I hope it's not the death of you. As he goes to his room to sleep.
Maybe
Yeah.
tomorrow. Well, I'll go.
And the exchange between you and Seo and Max, that happened mechanically when?
As soon as she saw Shikulu to the door, probably she would have messaged Max and Erasmus,
Okay.
and then have gone to Max's room. So,
Yeah. All right, cool.
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Sia would have done that, and then she would probably head back to her room, but as she does so, Chris, does anything about Slads or Ball Spawn come up in the Demonomicon?
So nothing about Ballspawn comes up in the Demonomicon. Lads, I think so. Hold on, let me just double check. I could be wrong about that. Let's find out.
Because I'm staying up to do my Arcana check on my Dragon Shard, are we on different demiplanes, or are we in a shared
So
space?
the way it works is that this one room is all a demiplane. The demiplane is pretty crazy because it goes, it does, the open room is just a room of stars where there's stairs that lead up to every single room. When the rooms look out in their windows, they're all different locations, but this is one demiplane.
Okay. Yeah, I'm studying the Dragon Shard before I'm doing my nightly ritual.
So the Demonomicon does actually have a section in, so I had to look it up myself. So when you look up Slad, Seo, it's going to tell you that Slads are creatures that that reproduce via violence. What they do is they will attack another creature, and through their claws, they'll literally embed a parasite inside of them. That's how they reproduce. They are one of the oldest creatures in existence. They also it's also rumored that a long time ago, Primus, the Overlord of the Morgdruns, created like a giant geometric complex stone imbued with the power of law itself. And the whole reason why Slats exists is that when he then casted Adrift in Limbo, believing the stone would bring order to the chaos of the planes and halt the spread of chaos to other planets and all that stuff. But as the stone's power grew, it became possible for creatures with ordered minds, such as Modrons and the Gith, to create enclaves within Limbo. So that's why Limbo existed. But Primus's creation had this really strange, unforeseen side effect. Chaotic energy absorbed by the stone spawned the horrors that came out as a Slad. They're actually spawned by Primus's basically order stone as a side effect. That's why they all see the stone as the spawning stone, but it's really Primus's stone. The Slad wiped out every single Modron in that enclave in Limbo. but it does have a detailed thing about Slad's pretty horrific cycle of reproduction. Basically, it wants to find human or human-like hosts, and then it takes its claws, literally injects eggs inside someone, and this disease is called chaos phage. And then it basically just bursts Slads by killing someone from the inside out.
And to clarify, the slab that was in the room was an illusion.
Right.
Thank
Well, you couldn't see it. Yeah, you couldn't see it. Now, Max, that iron flask drops to the floor. It's really there.
Yeah. And I haven't touched it yet. I haven't done anything with it yet.
Great.
So, as Theo headed off, Max would have maybe just taken 10 or so minutes to sort of calm his thoughts for many reasons, and then he would have headed off to sleep.
Yeah, I feel like after Theo gets to her room and reads all of that, she's gonna try to decompress, because we were having a great day, it was a fine day, and then fucking 2 hours worth of whatever just happened transpired. So she'll do that, and she's gonna go to bed.
All right, say that one more time.
Theo's going to bed. She's overwhelmed with everything that happened. She wants to try and sleep.
Gotcha.
I hit the pillow like a rock and I'm out.
What does a 29 Arcana get me for the Dragon Shard?
So the only thing that the only thing that you do discover is that there is a way magically to break the shard to reform it, but you don't actually have the tools to do that yet. You're just gonna have to do some more research. But now at least you can sever them. That was, if you remember from your last one, that was a key piece of getting this to be forgeable material. But now you just have to figure out how you're going to contain the energy from the blast, and then how you're going to get a tool that can sever this. But you have a concept of it in mind.
Okay.
So I guess we have our long rest then.
I'm gonna click the button.
Okay.
Unless we have. I just clicked the button, so if we had nightmares or got robbed or something.
Knowing our luck, I'm surprised woken up in the middle of the night. That's not a challenge, that's an honest opinion.
Oh, Chris, I haven't been pulled into the campaign on Tailspire. I've just been staring at my Discord.
Oh, you know what? I don't. It's because I don't have it up. Hold on. I will give it up right now.
I mean, unless it comes up, we don't really need it.
Yeah, no, I'll get it up anyway. We might, so we'll see. All right.
So what sort of time would we be waking up? Would it be like sort of midday-ish?
It's just 8 hours from 4. So it's 8 hours from 4 a.m.
So midday, roughly.
Yeah. Yep.
So as Max sort of gets up, he's gonna once again do just some meditation in the morning. He's gonna check to see if the flask is still there, if it's moved or anything.
It's still there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still there. It's exactly where it dropped.
Okay. He's not gonna do anything with it yet. He's just gonna sit on his bed after getting changed, and he's gonna just do some meditation for like 30-ish minutes.
Yep. And people can get into Tailspire too. I'm in. Cool.
Nice.
I cannot get into Tailspire.
Yeah, no worries. I'll stream it for you too.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hey. Did you get kicked out?
No, my I guess audio cut out for a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I see Sio's green, but I can't hear.
Yeah, I'm not talking. It's starting to do that thing again. I thought it fixed itself.
Okay. All right. So, what would you guys like to do when you wake up? Max, you're already out there doing your meditation.
I pray for a while, then I go into the common room, I guess. I realize what's gonna happen.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a walk out to the central room, and if I hear Sio's up, I'm gonna knock on her door.
Yeah, she'd probably be up, and at this point, she'd be working on the bracelets again, but would be getting Mage Hand to thumb through the Demonomicon for her. Not the Demonomicon. She'd have Mage Hand writing out messages to some people in Group A. Just trying to multitask. But yeah, she would be up. I don't know if you would hear her, but she's in her room.
Yep.
Yeah, he'd probably be one of the last ones up, so he'd kind of wake up, and he's in this like big sleep shirt, and he walks out, knocks on your door.
Oh, you can come in.
He's gonna poke his head in.
Afternoon.
Okay. Oh yes, I suppose you're right. You're still thinking about leaving, are you?
I haven't spoken to Erasmus yet, but last we discussed it, that is still the plan.
Before you discuss it with him, there was something I didn't want to say last night during the dinner. I didn't want to spoil everyone's good mood. But I think it's important now. For you to hear, at least. I don't think there's much convincing Erasmus.
Is this something you wanted to share with everyone, or?
I think it's most important for you to hear, to be honest.
Okay. Well, if it's something you want to keep private, you can just come in and shut the door.
Yeah, he's gonna click the door shut behind him, and he's gonna kind of walk forward and sit down next, kind of across from you. It's actually about the last time I saw my parents. And I know I spoke about it a bit. You know, neither of us were affected by the curse, which sped up aging. It was passed on to me. They were able to live longer lives in Togarak, which you know, until one day the guards caught on, and they showed up at our house one night when they knew we'd be home. So, right before they answered the door, they pushed me into a back room to climb out a window, and they gave me a brief hug, and they told me to never live in that city again. Come back only when I need supplies, but never stay long and stay out of sight. And I was only 8. I'd die with them if I went back to that house. So I listened to them, even though it hurt more than anything anywhere I felt. And so, Sio, I think you should listen to your brother. As stubborn as him and you both are, don't go back into that house.
Theo, at this point, would have dismissed Mage Hand and had her book placed on the writing desk, and she would have been looking at you, her hands constantly interweaving the thread that she's bought. And as you finish, she'll break eye contact with you and look back to the bracelet she's weaving as she's inserting a charm onto one of the threads and interweaving it. I understand what you're saying, Umbra. At least I think I do, but don't you think that it would be hypocritical of me, of all people, to not support Erastus in this? I mean, when you think about it, we had less information to go off of. No map, no indication of where Vand is, just brief, intermittent messages from him. I had no idea where he was, how to get to him. And fate, I guess, smiled upon me, gave me people who supported me and cared enough about me to join in this harebrained adventure to find him. And for better or for worse, we did. No information on how to, but all the reason in the world to know. Erastus has a clear destination, and he was given a poor omen, but we were too when it came to Vand, and he went anyway, and we're all here to tell the tale, even though it did not go as planned by any means. I understand your concern. I do, Umbra. I'm not going with Erastus to find Vand. I'm going with Erastus to see that the other portion of what Jace told him comes to fruition, that he doesn't go gung-ho with his good intentions, and that he stays safe. I'm going to go with him to fulfill his own dreams and wishes with his family and his people, because he's done that and more for me. And neither of us expect the rest of you to follow, but I'm willing to take the risk of going with him. I owe him that much. I owe all of you that much, and I hope you understand this isn't us intending to leave for forever. This is us going to Ahoy Hoy to ensure that his people are safe, to ensure that anything Erastus is involved with is seen to, and that once it's taken care of, in return, we can address whatever Black Sun, whatever Jace's omens for the rest of us were. I know what you mean, Umbra, and I understand you're coming from a place of care and consideration, but I'm going. I have to. Erastus needs this.
Just be careful, because a day, 2 days, turns into forever really quickly.
I know, and that was something I was hoping that as a party we could discuss. Not only who would like to go with us, because you know Erastus as well as I do, Umbra. He's not going to back down. He will go, and I will go with him. But perhaps there's an amenable solution. I know that, God, we've talked to so many people in the last 3 days. Someone of the omnipotent forces who have decided to grace us with more glorious purpose mentioned a place called Candlekeep. Had extensive knowledge. Imagine anything you could want. I think, don't quote me on it, but I think that's near Ahoy Hoy, so perhaps even if not everyone wanted to go to Ahoy Hoy, perhaps we could all at least travel in the same direction for a time, split off and be able to meet at this Candlekeep place. Find our own answers in the meantime. I don't know how realistic it is, but as a thought, I'd share it with you. You're smart, you know many more things than I do, and perhaps it's amenable to everyone.
You might be smart, but doesn't mean anything if I can't keep a project together.
I understand. And Sio at that point's just going to fall quiet, and she's going to break eye contact with you again, focusing strictly on the bracelet.
Yep.
You can tell she's pensive.
Yep.
Yeah. Umbra kind of shares this sentiment. He kind of nods.
No one knows this, and CO, you certainly don't know this, and that's why I want to let this play out and go through it. I think you should use that as the thing. It is nowhere. It is actually the opposite direction.
Very.
But that's okay.
Oh,
That's all right, though. I don't know that anyone knows that, so it's all good.
Umbra would have no idea.
Yeah, you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Kaylee's like her mother with a map.
Okay, first off,
No, it's all
not
good. It's all good.
scare me.
It's all good.
Well,
I don't know that anyone would know that anyway. Yeah.
Well, I remember Erastus saying that he was on a ship and saw Candlekeep, but I forgot Erastus has traveled the entirety of the Sword Coast, so that could have been anywhere.
He went from he took a ship to here, and then he walked up the most of it.
Yeah, so I forgot how far Erastus has really traveled. Also, Kaylee with a map is not the best, but Gage, if you compare me to my mother again, engagement's off. Have to bring back.
Shit.
She's
Yeah.
playing it up because she got crowd.
Yeah. So I don't think anyone would know that anyway, so it's all good. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Umbra will quietly shut the door behind him on his way out.
And Payne getting derailed because the party just gets straight up lost. Jesus.
It's a
Survival
journey.
is not good, guys. She was not
Oh.
going to head this adventure.
Candlekeep is east? I thought you said west.
It's like, what's the worst that can happen? All you have to do is cut straight through
Yeah.
Well, we take a stop in
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like Sio is gonna keep working on some of the bracelets. Chris, how much time does it take to make friendship bracelets in D&D?
it only takes I imagine you're pretty good at it at this point. It's only going to take you like 20 minutes.
Oh,
20,
okay, cool.
20, 30 minutes, yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, Sio will spend another 30 minutes finishing up the bracelet, but she'll stay in her room for now, just kind of thinking on things.
Max at this point, he would probably head to the common room, and he'll see if anyone's there, and if not, he'll sit himself down on. I'm assuming there are couches there or something.
So they're very nice couches, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
He'll sit himself down on one of the couches there.
Well, if we woke up at 12 and it's about 12:31 now, Gretna would be in there if it's like 1:45. By then she would have said her prayers and fixed, and done her spells and everything for the day.
Everyone will eventually notice that there's still like an iron flask on the ground, very out of place. It's gleaming, meaning that it's.
I thought that was in Max's room, because that's where we had the conversation.
Oh, if that's true, I thought for some reason that you guys had the conversation out in the hallway when everyone was gone. Did you actually go into Max's room?
Yeah, we went into to my room.
Okay,
Yeah.
then you're right. Then it is in there. Yep.
So yeah, Max will head to the common room and he'll see you, Gretna, and he'll walk over and say, "Hi there, good afternoon. You sleep well?"
Yeah, you're kind of formal.
I'm just thinking about stuff.
I understand.
we've been together a while, and I actually don't think I've gotten the chance to thank you for this. And he points to the scar around his neck.
I'm here for.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, like I said, I thought that you were, a demon or something until that happened. Silly me.
Well, you're not entirely wrong, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on what transpired yesterday? Well, rather this morning.
Oh, man. Gonna hear him out. I think that, a planeswalker time traveler telling us not to do something and knowing all about us and saying he's asked us before and we shouldn't do it, and having the one person who could probably take us to do it right here in town willing to do it, it kind of seems like the fates are with us, that we should do that.
Yeah.
We might not get another chance. And if it's going to destroy our world, well, that's something we should think about.
Are you going to Ahoy Hoy with the Rassus?
I don't know what Erasmus intends to do in Ahoy Hoy. I don't understand why he's going or what he's going for. How he's going to get there or what he's going to do once he gets there. I don't understand any of that.
I don't know the reason why he's going there either, but I have some thoughts about it, and one of them being I think one of the reasons might be he wants to prove himself, in a sense that he wants to head to Ahoy Hoy and prove himself to a city that once didn't care for him.
And everybody who knew him who did that to him is dead.
Yes. But I think it's probably due to a fact that, well, he said it himself, turtles don't really look like him, and Max will sort of make a gesture towards of that of a shell. Don't necessarily have a shell like he has.
So, I don't have a beard, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to go proving myself to dwarves just because, I grow a beard.
Exactly.
Which I haven't yet.
I think that he's going about this the wrong way. He's trying to...
I mean, what's he gonna do? Walk on the sand, say, "Hi, I look like I'm 13 years old, but really I'm 64, and all of your dead relatives didn't like me." What's he gonna... I don't understand.
I don't know what he has planned, if anything at all. If you ask me, I think he's just being reckless and emotional about the whole situation. So, I frankly want to talk to him about it. And
I think we're gonna talk real frankly once everybody's here.
Well, I want to talk to him myself. Whether he'll be okay with that or not, it's up to him. But if he's not okay with it, I will say what I'm going to say anyway. But
I mean, if he gives me real good reasons to go, then I'm gonna consider it. But right now, he hasn't given a real good reason yet.
Exactly, and that's part of that's something that I'm going to try and figure out when I have a chat with him.
Where is he?
I'm guessing in his room.
Yeah, I guess so. It's getting kind of late. Or maybe I'm just impatient.
Well, I'll go gather everyone up.
Okay,
So we
that
can-
sounds like a good
so we
idea.
can discuss this. And Max
Okay.
will.
If you see Umbra, I need to do his hands. He's got purple hands.
Sure, I'll tell him you're here.
Thanks.
And Max
I just-
will head up to the rooms.
I pinch the bridge of my nose and just start praying again.
So Max will. I'm not sure like the layout of the rooms and such, but he'll just go to sort of the closest rooms and just knock on the door. And he's just gonna say, Pan, I'd like to have a talk with everyone. Do you mind just meeting in the common room in a few minutes?
Sure.
Thank you. And he's gonna walk to the next room and sort of repeat that for whoever's door it is.
Pan would have been just chilling in their room for now, so at that they would just go into the main room to wait for everybody else.
Yeah. And when I get to Umbra, I'm gonna tell Umbra, Gretna's waiting in the common room for you.
Yes. And he's gonna kind of lace up.
And I'd like to have a talk with everyone whilst we're there. So.
Yes, absolutely. He's gonna put on his cape and kind of step out of his room.
All right.
And yeah, we'll just sort of gather everyone up. And once he's knocked on everyone's door, he's gonna head over to Shakuli's room and knock on his door.
Since like we established a while ago that doesn't really you can't really hear anything when you're inside your room. I'm just gonna say Shakula's like waiting in the hallway, like leaning against the wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, well, open the door, see you there. It's just about to come get you.
Right. Have we had the talk yet?
No, I'm gathering everyone up so we can do it.
All right. Shakulu steps inside.
Max will close the door, lock it, and once everyone's gathered in the common room, he'll start talking.
Yep.
So I'm taking it that everyone's down here by this point.
Yeah. Tia would still be working on a bracelet, but she's giving you her full attention.
Pan sitting by CO and just strumming instruments.
Shakulu's like standing behind one of the couches and just like standing there, arms crossed. He's very obviously like not looking forward to it, but it has to be done.
Yeah, I'm also standing, arms crossed.
Okay. First and foremost, everyone, I want to apologize for last night. I frankly speaking, I may have been part of the Beholder, but I let my guard down, I broke concentration, and that happened. And Umbra, I'm sorry for what happened. Believe me, I don't want to cause you or anyone harm. That wasn't me.
I could tell you weren't in your right mind. And I accept your apology. Although it does raise a set of questions.
Which I'll be happy to answer to the best of my abilities, though I don't know how much you'll get out of it. Because, frankly speaking, I don't know much myself.
Yeah, I do remember what you told me prior. I worry if there's something similar with me. But I'm glad everyone's safe. I'm glad no harm came of you or of myself. And I'll be sure to keep an eye out on similar substances and make sure you do not partake.
Thank you. Now, I want to talk about what happened with Jace yesterday and everyone. Yesterday was meant to be a relaxing day, though towards the end it turned out to be quite the opposite, unfortunately.
Sorry. I just want to clarify. Is Erastus here? Are we having this conversation?
He hasn't said he's there, so I assume he's not. Yeah.
No, I haven't done any roleplay. No.
Then I wouldn't have started.
No one.
I just assumed that.
Yeah, I would have waited. I thought.
No one went and got him.
Yeah,
I never said he came downstairs.
Okay.
Max said that he went to every single room to get everybody.
Yeah, including yours.
Yeah. Then
he wouldn't have started unless everyone was there. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm there. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So. I'm sure we're all concerned about what Jace said about us and to us. And honestly speaking, I'm quite scared of what he said.
I think scared isn't the right word.
What would you use the number?
I think it's less about fear and more just about reading the signs. I mean, I would say just about everyone in this, more than anyone in this room, understand the weight seeing the future carries. And to have someone with as big of a scope as Jace that can see not only the future, but the past and the present, in the way that he can, he provides an unrivaled source. Gretna said that he was telling the truth. I think we should listen to him, even if he has an angle. Everyone has an angle. But if he's telling the truth, that's all that's important.
Erastus, you said almost immediately after he told you otherwise that you were going to Ahoy Hoy as soon as possible. Strictly speaking, we're all against that, as we don't know your reasoning behind why you want to do that, despite warnings that may or may not be true, but warnings nonetheless. So why are you so set on heading to Ahoy Hoy?
I care about it.
Even if you going means it would bring bad things to not only you, but your ancestors and your homeland, would you still take that chance?
I don't see how my going would do that.
What if some powerful force followed you? What if you showing up stirred something up? What if your arrival caused some sort of disturbance? There's many ways, if you think about it.
But if none of those happens, then it's in danger anyways.
And I think our existence is a testament to how that just seems to happen, whether or not that's our intention.
So why bring that back home? Why track mud into the house?
You speak with a very high degree of certainty.
Of course I do.
Of course you do.
You said that your people looked at you as nothing more than a cripple. What makes you think that that will change now?
Most of them don't even know you anymore. You're going to be a stranger showing up and claiming leadership.
Erastus just looks down and he looks very sad now.
Seeing this,
calling him a cripple and that no one knows him.
It's true.
I mean,
we know,
yeah.
But they don't. From what I've heard, a great amount of time has passed. It's the whole reason you want to go back. But think about the logistics. Because you're smart, and I think you're smarter than you give yourself credit for right now. You're blinded by homesickness.
Not homesickness.
Yeah, Sia's going to get up from her seat and go sit next to Erastus, and she's going to put a hand on the back of his shell, and she'll look to Umbra and Shikulu. I would just like to point out there's no point in bringing up his shell, nor that so much time has elapsed that his family has passed.
I
would also like to point out that, as I told Umbra earlier, we went headlong into the abyss to find my brother. All signs pointed that we should never have done that. Max died because of my insistence that we went,
and you're insisting again.
That is not true. I didn't die because of your assistance. I died because I let fear consume me and I made a mistake.
Oh, wait, let me get this straight. If I had said, hey, I want to go home and see my mom and dad and brother who love me and are still alive, before he said that, you would have come with me, Sio, instead?
I would have gone with you, and I still would go with you, Gretna.
Except because, like, they miss me probably, and they love me and everything, but, I'm not going because, like, there's not going to be any world left. And I'd rather save the world and have them there than go to see them and then just destroy the world because I did that.
Exactly.
I don't think they're mutually exclusive. Never mind.
In this case,
Jace was telling the truth. He may be mistaken, but he was telling the truth.
Well, if he was telling the truth, then the world's ripping itself apart at the seams, and nothing we do will save
And he said because we didn't listen to him. And we're not listening to him again.
And plus, we followed you into the abyss. We left the tomb when you wanted to, we left the Doom Vault when you wanted to, and we all did this because, everyone took a vote. And even the people that disagreed with the group went with the group. But now, you and Erastus disagree with the group, and instead of going along with us, you leave. You go in the opposite direction of us. Because you don't want to. Because you think you're better than the rest of the group, and your judgment is above ours.
I don't think that's true, Umbra.
That was really uncalled for and hurtful.
Well, then why?
Why are you doing this then? Because you think you know more than a planeswalker or any of us.
I don't think this is going to be a productive conversation anymore.
But we're still having it, so don't leave.
But what's the answer? We want to hear it.
I've just been insulted since I sat down. And
we want to hear it, though. If you're gonna be the leader of you want to go back and be the leader, right?
We're going easy on you compared to what's waiting if you go home.
Hold the phone. Who insulted Erastus? I said his people look at him as nothing. I saw him take 5 hits from a demon whose claws can rip through reality and barely even bleed.
Are you denying that the people who saw you as cripples?
And guys, I feel, and I'm trying to clarify this, he's very sensitive about that topic. It's been a very consistent point of his character since the beginning. Doesn't like it being brought up. So if you
What happens when the people that you're trying to lead bring it up? What are you going to do?
Exactly.
How? What are you going to do?
I don't want.
Are you going to show up crying at the gates because people point out why you...
I'm not
Anything.
gonna cry.
That's enough.
I'm
We know
gonna
Erastus.
monologue for a bit. Feel free to interject when you guys want, but first off, Erastus, I'm gonna say this. Don't go to Ahoy Hoy. Going to Ahoy Hoy is too risky as of right now. If what Jace said is true, then you're not ready. None of us are. We currently don't have the power to change fate. We didn't listen to the signs when we went looking for Vand, and look where that got us. It's not justified to go and repeat possibly the same mistake again. You're simply an idiot for doing so. I'm sure you do it all the time in your experiments. It's called learning from our mistakes. I bet... I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say, I bet you feel like you have to prove yourself, don't you? Not just to yourself, but to those who wronged you, those you care about, and most importantly of all, those who told you couldn't do it. I mean, take it from me. I was unwanted by my parents, constantly berated for standing up for the kids at the orphanage, left alone to fend for myself at such a young age. Eventually came across someone who saw potential in me and raised me to become who I am today. They soon passed shortly after, and I was left to my own devices, left to find other ways to further develop my craft and become the best I can be. I train my body and mind extensively, sometimes going a few days deep in meditation without eating to see if I could figure out who I was, what I'm capable of. And usually at the end of those few days, I'd come up short and only find out that I was hungry. It wasn't until I found all of you guys that I began to train my heart. I mean, Shakulu, you've given me excitement about a potential equal rival who I can strive to be better against and further improve myself. And Pan, you give us fun environments to relax in with your music and upbeat spirit, which arguably helped us in these dire times. Wouldn't you all agree?
Mm-hmm.
And
smile at her.
And Umbra, you're quite amusing in my opinion. You've always got this present melodramatic tone, which can sometimes be mistaken for cool-headedness. But if you've given me anything, it's a sense of reliability, and I strive to be as reliable as you. And Gretna, you're a wise and caring lady. You usually know what's up and you're ready to act if needed, whether it be for yourself or others. I think it's safe to say that she's the designated mother of the group. She's always caring for us and patching up our injuries just like any parent would do for their child. Sio's given me this unique warmth ever since I've joined you guys. It's a feeling that I've never truly felt before in my life. Her kindness and care towards others is infectious, and not to mention I'd say she's the one that keeps us together in some capacity. Though I do wish she would consider herself before others at times. I'm not sure if you guys see it, but I feel like she's tearing herself apart trying to take on so much responsibility by herself, and frankly speaking, it pains me. I'm sure you realize this too, Erastus, considering how fond you are of her. She's really lucky to have you in her life. However, as your friend and ally, Erastus, I mean this in the nicest way possible. Frankly speaking, Erastus, I haven't gained anything from you. The only thing you've shown me is how reckless you can be. Sure. I think everyone here can agree that you're definitely the smartest person here. But sometimes, I'm just gonna be honest, you're a complete fucking idiot. You confuse your recklessness with courage, like a fool. As my master would say to me, courage is grace under pressure, and recklessness is a full substitute for bravery. You are by no means a fool, but you're not graceful in anything that you do, except for when you use your head. Everyone in the group can agree with me on that.
Not I. And at that, Sio's gonna stand up and just keep her hand on Erasmus's shell, but she does not look pleased at all. For the first time in a long time, you're seeing her actually scowl. And exactly how is lauding everyone else and their achievements and then putting Erasmus down exactly supposed to help him feel capable of explaining
I'm getting there,
these
Sia.
emotions he can't convey?
I'm getting there, Sia. Just bear with me for a moment. Please. Erasmus, do you not realize the gift that you have? You have the ability to revolutionize the world with your inventions. I've seen it firsthand. You can give people lives they've never dreamed of before. You have the potential to shift the tide of battle with what you can do. Not your armor or inventions, but you. I'm sure you don't want to spend time at a hoi-hoi ruling over a city that didn't want you. You want to explore the world, don't you? Besides, I currently don't see you to be fit to be a ruler. A ruler and a leader needs to set an example of what to do, and they need to have confidence in themselves to make the right choice at the right time. You're not ready for that kind of responsibility. In your current state, you aren't fit to lead the city. I think that your skills lie elsewhere. You're by far the most capable of us all, but you waste your gift by charging headfirst into dangerous situations without thinking, just like you're going to do with the situation in a hoi-hoi. That's a one-way ticket to getting yourself killed. I mean, how are you going to act out that justice that you so desire when you're 6 feet under? What if what happens in the abyss happens in a hoi-hoi? What will you do if you lose the magic in your suit again? I saw what happened in the abyss. When your armor shut off, you were scared, and if you could have moved in your armor, I'm pretty sure you would have hidden your shell and waited for the situation to blow over. You can't protect those you care about with an artificial courage that you get from wearing a suit of armor, Erasmus. When it fails you, I bet it feels like the whole world has collapsed in on itself and you're left at the epicenter to endure it all. I
just want to say, and we were there for you. We were there for you when we stuck by you, and we'll do that again. You know, we helped you. There, I'm done.
Just like how a warrior, I gesture to Shakulu, just like how a warrior makes his weapon his own, and how a mage, I gesture to Umbra, makes their magic their own. The armor doesn't make you who you are. You make the armor and its capabilities. Your armor didn't fend off those demons in Nith. The man wearing the armor did. Your armor didn't keep everyone alive when you guys were in the tomb. You did. I mean, you even follow Sio across dimensions by the sound of things. No piece of armor I know can do that. You, Erasmus, you did that. And
you're a smart guy. I'm sure you're at least considering in the back of your mind that what Jace said is possibly true, even just a little. But I think you're twisting your own thought process. And I bet you're thinking that you can change the future by rushing there recklessly, getting there before disaster strikes. I hate to break it to you, Erasmus, but that's the suit talking, not you. If it was you, you'd look at the bigger picture and with multiple possibilities considered, right? And Mac's just gonna see if you respond, Erasmus.
And I think if you do one day want to lead, I think making this difficult choice to come with us is a good first step on the way to show that you can lead a group, that you can kind of see things for more than just black and white.
Whatever you decide on doing, know this. You should always do your best no matter what. Everyone has their own best in this group. I would say mine would be my tenacity and thrive to be the best I can be. I'm a survivor through and through. I can't really speak for the others in the group, but Erasmus, I feel like I know your best. Your best is your intelligence, your unwavering genius that's able to find a solution to any problem. Your reckless attitude that you get from wearing the armor isn't your best. It's a byproduct of your best. Just like my control over my key is. I think you should use your gift and use it to consider everything that's going on around us, what we've been through, and what we've been informed of. You should use it to keep yourself alive and also those around you. Otherwise, I swear to the gods, you will lose everyone and everything you care about. And
at this point, because we don't have any visual cues, because there are no visual cues, because no one can see each other. Like, give me. I can kind of tell how like Max is. Erasmus, how is your body language though?
He looks just broken. Just, empty.
I think you should think about it. We've still got 2 more days here. I think it'd be rude to leave early considering I've paid for your room and meals for those days. If you still decide on going to a hoi hoi, know that you're going to have to prepare yourself for the worst and be sure to look after Sio while you're away. And Max is gonna just sit back down on the couch.
Okay.
Gonna reach his back and going to take out the 10 remaining sapphires and put them on the table. And he's going to take the 2 iron rings off of his wrists and put them there too. And he's going to stand up. I don't want to lead. Never did. But I want to help protect I don't run into be reckless. I run into take it so no one else has to. I try to be what I wish other people were for me. Now that I have some, I don't know, power. And I haven't protected anything. I couldn't help the dragon turtle. I couldn't save any of the people that we went into the tomb with. I couldn't save And. I didn't do anything. We didn't accomplish anything.
I would disagree with that.
I don't live for just me anymore. I have wants that supersede my life. And that's just the way I am. And I like me, you know. I didn't at the beginning of this, but I do now. And I'm fine with me. But I don't think the rest of you really understand me. This is the most of us have ever talked.
And that's the thing, Aras, is, I mean, I know I've known quite a lot of people, but I usually gain that knowledge about them through fighting them. I could tell what kind of person they was. Some were absolutely...
I don't work like that, Max.
I know. And
What do you want?
the only other way I can, well, we can understand who you are is, and what you want is, if you tell us, Erasmus. Because, frankly speaking, I don't want to fight an ally. That's the last thing I'd want to do.
I'm not going to fight anyone. I'm done fighting.
What do you want?
I want support. Yeah, I don't expect anyone to go with me anymore. I'll go.
That doesn't answer the question. What do you want?
He gives Gretna like a really sad look. Almost like a disappointed look. I want to help build. I want to protect that which is important to me. I want to build an armor that can protect it, that I care about. Not good with words.
It's alright.
I want to be the person that I needed when I was little. I want to make a Hoi Hoi safe and welcoming, and I want to make the world that. I think I have to start there. Since I left the Tomb Vault, I've been compelled. I've been feeling it. It's like a knot in my stomach. And it's what I think about a lot. Just going and making sure everything's okay. And I think my master's still alive, and he's got answers to some questions I have. And I think some questions that can help everyone I don't know. I'm scared. And I don't know why, but it's the first thing in a long time that's made me feel good, is the idea of going home and checking on it. And when I hear that's threatened, I have to. I know it doesn't make sense. But I have to. Just like saving our brother. So
Chris.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were finished. Gage, go ahead.
No, you can go.
To clarify, did Jace say that something bad was happening to a Hoi Hoi, or that something bad would happen if he went to a Hoi?
He actually just didn't really say either. He said I've told you this before, and he said don't go, and he was very vague about the whole thing.
I thought he said something like nothing good will come of it, or only bad things will come
He
of
said
it.
bad things will happen to Erastus specifically.
That he did say specifically to Erastus. So no one, like, he didn't point out to anyone else in the group. Erastus heard
And
that.
that's why he was very hurt when Kino immediately said that he's going to get all of his family killed. Or not Kino, Umbra.
I mean, for all, and by the way,
Kino would
Gabe,
like
to be honest, for all you know, that will happen. Like, well, he was very vague the whole thing. If you listen to explicitly what he said, which I have, he said before he had mentioned that he had told everyone about this before and that doesn't work. He had said, Erastus, don't go to a Hoi Hoi. If you go to a Hoi Hoi, only terrible things will happen. And then he said, and then he said other things, and then he said again, Erastus, bad things will happen to you if you go to a Hoi Hoi.
He's prepared to take those consequences to himself.
At this point, Pan's going to speak up and say, because I think Erastus mentioned that he wants to make sure nothing bad is happening there, and Pan will say, what do you think is happening there? Like, what is making you want to go so badly that you think is affecting there?
I don't know. But even before this, I've been wanting to go.
Then may I make a request?
It's in our blood.
May I make a request?
Sure, yes.
Would you be willing to wait? I'm not saying do not go, even though that is what he said. But all I'm requesting is that we attempt to find out more before you run them. We have, mages who are good at information gathering. We can try and ask around.
Why did you want to keep me around?
Because you're important to us. Because we're a group. We work well together. Look at all we've accomplished. I don't want you running off. I want to stay as a group. I want us to stay together. Did we not just spend dinner saying how much we appreciated one another? How happy we were that we had all met? Everything that we've gone through, even the bad things, it was worth it because we were all together. We are a group, aren't we?
I was just told that I'm an idiot. Nothing special about me. So
you didn't hear the whole. You weren't listening then.
I didn't feel that way anymore.
All that I heard was people trying from the bottom of their hearts to think of what they could say to you to make you not run off. That's all we want. I'm sorry if people insulted you, and I know that those were insults, and I'm sorry. But all they're saying is that they don't want you to run off. They're just trying to figure out what they can say to make you stay. They're trying to say these things to make you want to stay with us. That's all they want. We just want to stay as a group.
So out of character, that is actually the most persuasive argument that anyone's ever said. And I'm so happy. And I'm so happy that the bard actually said it. That's so cool.
I've been waiting here in the background, like that's what I said in chat. I was like, Pam was gonna speak, but Erastus looks fucking depressed. So I'm like,
but out of character, that is actually the most persuasive thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, it really is, because Tio's about to blow her gasket.
Yeah, I wanted to say that because Erastus putting the stuff down on the table, I was like, if I don't say this now, he's just gonna walk off. So that's Pan going to say, I just want the group to stay together. Like, we can try and find out more. I think there's certain spells that we can try and find out, like scrying. We can try and get that so we can.
Chris, would they know about the call?
No. You have to talk to them about it. No
I don't
one's
know
going
about
to
it.
know.
I don't know about it.
No, I mean, you already did talk about it, but, I mean, nobody picked up on it. But, yeah. You did say it. But,
Yeah.
What?
yeah,
What, the
exactly.
whole-
You didn't pick up
They're
on
all
it, so
called?
you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's instinct.
It's like
picked
the
up
Vulcan
on it,
thing.
but-
That's okay,
Theo
though.
picked
Yeah.
up on it, but this is Erastus' story.
Well, Erastus shouldn't be being affected by it, but
I mean, the only person that would know anything about this is Sio if she literally grew up with turtles, but that's it. So, yeah.
I feel like turtles are not common
Yeah.
in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Erastus is the first one she's met.
you mean Luskin?
Luskin, yeah, because
Yeah.
in Hoi Hoi they are, but I didn't know if you had spent time in Hoi Hoi with him. Gotcha. I don't. I
No,
think the
we
expert-
never been there.
Yeah, so
No,
no.
I met
Yep,
Erastus
yep.
2 weeks before the world imploded. So
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So no, it is what it is. Yeah, it's fine.
And Jace did say that there was a way for him to stay on this realm. If we gather one of those two items, he'll be able to stay here and we can gather more information, just like Pan said.
I feel like this is a trick.
I promise you, this is not a trick.
Okay.
But
Important. Super
wait, sorry.
important. Go ahead.
No, you're more important.
Well,
Go ahead.
So this is just super important for everything because it does happen regardless of the conversation right now. So
Oh God.
So outside, you guys are having this conversation, going through. By the way, are you still inside your demiplane?
yes, we're like
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. You do hear a knock on the door.
That's weird.
That's
Erastus
There's only one person that can knock on the door. So
Miles?
Oh,
it would
okay.
only be Xiles. Yeah.
yeah. Theo,
Max,
and everyone would
Max,
see
Max
this
will
as-
stand up and head to the door.
nah. Theo's beating you there, pal, because she turns on her heels, and you can tell by the way she's holding herself, she's fucking pissed, and she's gonna open the door very quickly, just enough that her body is in the way, and she's going to make intense eye contact with whoever's knocking.
Yep. She says, "Oh, terribly sorry. I just wanted to let our valued guests know that this is never happened before, once in a lifetime event. I don't mean to intercede or anything, but it's currently 30 degrees in Calimport, which has never happened. On top of that, there's a very weird." Anyway, whatever. I just wanted to let you know in case it left before you got outside, but it's a miracle. I actually have no words for this.
I'm guessing this is in
Miles.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's in Fahrenheit.
Okay,
It's
so
in Fahrenheit.
so it's
yeah.
like
not
minus-
Celsius.
It's -2 or something Celsius.
Yeah. It's very cold. Yep.
Miles,
Jesus.
can you tell us-
Get with America, Max. We're doing the
No.
fucking weird calculations. We're also talking about miles, not kilometers.
Yeah, I know.
I thought his
Yeah,
name
but,
was Xiles.
but terribly sorry. If you said terribly sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. And he shuts the door and leaves.
Is this something we need to be concerned about, Miles? Is this a threat to our
Oh, no. Actually, I mean,
Xiles?
if it stays like this, of course, but I doubt it will. I actually just think this is probably a once in a lifetime phenomenon that you would want to see. As a matter of fact, there's a weird. I can't really explain it to be honest, but we all felt anyone that was outside felt a low gush of air, and now there's a very low, kind of very cold fog. And it's slowly dissipating, which is the only reason I knocked, but I just wanted you to see this wondrous event. I have never in my life felt this, ever. And here we are in Calimport, feeling, I can't explain it. It's still warm outside, but cold on the ground. Don't know, but I just wanted you to not miss it. I don't think anything is super, I don't think this is the end of the world or anything. Anyway, sorry to bother you.
Thank you.
Rambles on like a cartoonish butler.
Thank you. Siles will be sure to look into it, and CO will very slowly shut the door.
Yep. And sure enough, as he had opened the door, there is a low fog even on the ground of where he's at. It's crazy to you, CO. And it is cold. It is actually cold when you open the door. But anyway.
Shit.
Did he say this loud enough that everyone could hear, or does CO need to reiterate?
Probably it'd be hard for everyone to hear the exact thing. You'd probably have to reiterate this, yeah.
CO will slowly shut the door and will just take a very deep breath in. Apparently, the city in the desert went from unbearably hot to incredibly cold, with a low fog rolling in this morning. I don't have a further weather report, but I imagine we'll be the unfortunate ones to find out why.
Oh, when hell freezes over.
Anyway, Erastus, I am incredibly disappointed by the way that some of our friends, and as she says friends, she's not glaring, but looking incredibly disappointed at Gretna, Umbra, and Max. I'm disappointed in the way that our friends decided to convey their concerns of keeping our party together. But I can assure you that I believe Pan when they say that taking these measures is for our collective best interest. And by ours, I mean you and I. Because when you go to a Hoi Hoi, I will be with you every step of the way. I don't think that the intention is to trick you. I think it is to give us the best possible chance of understanding why you have this gut instinct to go back and what could possibly be wrong there. But that is your choice to make, ultimately, when we go. And I will follow your instincts.
Yeah, well, what if we don't go now, and then we no one ever wants to go? And then I have to go by myself and later, and worse things happen.
The only thing I'm asking of you, Erastus, is to just use your gift and think about this before you rush into it.
Do you want me to use my gift to help you?
I never said that.
If we find out at some point in the future that our inaction caused some kind of terrible event to befall a Hoi Hoi, then at that moment, I personally will drop everything and I will head straight for a Hoi Hoi with you and do everything in my power to set things right. I promise you this.
But there's something we're supposed to prevent.
Right.
Or we can prevent.
Exactly.
Or I can prevent.
If we hadn't gone for my brother when we did, they would have killed him. They said that themselves. I understand what you're saying, Pan, but I don't think waiting for the worst possible thing to happen is the best course of action. But I do believe that doing what we can while here in Kalimport to look into this would be smart. Smarter than leaving at midday. Erastus, what was the name of that other artificer that we met? Gretna, the name of the gentleman you...
Scragglecrans. Scragglecrans.
Flimp, yeah.
And his dog, Flimpy. Real nice people. You might want to talk to him, Erastus. You talk about talking to your master or learning about stuff.
No.
You have no idea what this guy's got. He is some... wait. I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it that way.
It's intimately aware of what that man can do.
Jesus.
I'm talking about his boat. I'm talking about his ship.
He went to.
And I take out a vial.
About his ship,
I'm gonna touch the boat.
I take out a vial. Of
oh God, what's in the vial? Oh God.
Phlogiston.
So she takes out a crystal vial. The crystal vial is around 12 inches long. It's sharp on both ends. The crystal vial is also impossibly clear. You can only tell that this is crystal by the light reflecting on it. Otherwise, it's completely clear. Inside of it is a red, purplish gas that shimmers and glows, and it's something that no one has ever seen before. It's called phlogiston. And
Phlogiston.
yeah,
It's my accent, phlogiston.
Yes, it's sharp on both ends. It's actually not really a vial. It's really a long crystal.
Yeah, long crystal. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah.
This guy can bottle this stuff. You should see his ship. Erasmus, you want to learn? And plus, he's a captain of a ship. You want to learn how to be a leader? Do you want to learn how to do things that you've never seen or done before? Not again, everybody stop.
I was mainly asking his name because I can't remember if he told us he could or could not take us to Ahoy Hoy.
He could take you halfway there.
Chris, can I make
This stuff is the stuff in between the planes.
You can.
There's a chance I would know what that is. Gage.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm telling everybody, this is the stuff in between the planes. When you travel between the planes, you travel through this stuff, and he can put it in a crystal.
Gretna, could I see that?
Okay.
Well,
with
with what Gretna said, you would know then. So you have read about this, Erasmus. No one's actually seen it. But if this is right, then that means that he has somehow breached a crystal sphere, a thing that's fabled essentially, and it's just theory. But if that's right, then yes, Flimp would be able to get out of the sphere that holds a couple worlds, not just Faerun, and get into completely other realms of reality. He would be the most powerful.
I promise you he can.
And if that's the case, he would be the most powerful artificer currently on the planet. He would actually be smarter, or have to be smarter and more powerful than your master. Your master would be a close second, probably. Although I mean, if you go back and talk to your master and he tells you that he's traveling planes too, then they're on the same path.
He didn't tell me all that stuff.
Yeah.
But he did say don't trust the men of Lantern.
Right.
And I'm gonna take him at his word. And now I'm just gonna back up away from Gretna as she talked about it and just shake my head violently no.
Wow.
I don't want to talk to him.
All right, then. Good luck.
He's from Lantern.
What's wrong with Lantern? Didn't he say that's where all the artificers learn?
Gretna does know something. Grenton does know something about that. Gretna, I don't know if you remember or not. If you don't,
yeah, he worked his way through because nobody wanted him to be there, but he proved himself.
Exactly. He was not actually. He actually was kicked out, or actually not even allowed in the academy, and he had to start from he was actually an outsider that came in, which is very, very rare.
Specialton, he said don't trust people from Lantern.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know
that's
too
bad. This guy can possibly help us save all the worlds. Not just your piece of it, not just my piece of it, not just all of our little pieces of it, but the whole world.
Erasmus, it might be worth speaking to him, considering that he could, in theory, take us halfway to Ahoy Hoy. Imagine a ship would be much faster than walking.
What if we don't want to go there? If the ship can only go in one direction, I can't just get off it if it's in.
You won't know till you talk to him.
It's in planar travel, and no one.
Wait, so how are you planning on getting to Ahoy Hoy then?
Gonna walk.
Across the ocean?
I can go around, or I can charter a ship. I got money.
Isn't Collinport on an island?
No, it's on it's on the edge of. It's not. Collinport is not technically on an island. It's on the very edge.
Yeah.
Ahoy Hoy is an island, right?
Yes, Ahoy Hoy is on something called the Snout of Ogmar. Ahoy Hoy itself is not an island. It's very you'll see it on the map. It's the Snout of Ogmar is a giant island, and Ahoy Hoy is a part of that.
It's like Iceland.
Yeah.
If I pull out my book and just kind of follow where Erasmus is talking about, if he was to walk around without chartering a ship from Ahoy Hoy, from Collinport to Ahoy Hoy.
Erasmus knows this, so Erasmus knows this. I don't know if he's going to convey this to anyone or not, but go ahead and give me a straight up history check on Chult and walking. because you're looking at the map. So I want to know if you recall anything from reading in your books about fabled Faerun. Go ahead and roll.
Spoiler alert, eventually I'm going to have to take a shit.
Yeah, it's an island. You can't walk to an island.
No matter what, he's going to have to take a ship, and you would know that from your book. That's actually not the information, though. Let's find out.
About 150 years ago, I could have just walked there.
So what'd you get, Umbra?
Oh, is this me? Sorry.
Yeah, it's for you. It's for you. It's because you're looking at the book. You're looking at Schultz.
13. Not great.
All right. The only thing that you would remember is that Schultz is almost alive with carnivores. It's dangerous.
That's why we grew Schultz.
Yeah, it's dangerous to walk through.
I did it when I was a kid.
Yeah. The only thing you remember is it's full of like lizard men and stuff, but you don't know exactly why it's so dangerous, but it's dangerous. There are things that are bad there. Thrasus, you would know that the legend says that the actual Tarask makes its home in Schuld, but no one's ever seen it.
Uh-huh. But at this point, Erastus can also 1v1 a T-Rex, so...
Tarask slightly harder.
Yeah. Just a hair.
Just a tiny, little wee bit.
No. I like CR...
No one's ever seen it.
CR
no one's ever seen it. Yeah.
It's like a CR7 creature. We can totally 1v1 a T-Rex.
Tarask. The Tarask.
I know, a T-Rex.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is that you know that the fabled Tarask is actually from Schuld, but no one's ever seen it. Yeah, no one's ever seen it. So.
Can we eat that at dinner?
Jesus.
Yeah.
It just keeps regenerating in your stomach.
But seriously, though, Erastus looks very conflicted.
Yeah. But Erastus would also know Schultz is the most dangerous stronghold.
Is there a way I could ask Pan to roll a persuasion check?
Yeah.
I want to see how persuasive she is.
Sure, hang on.
Yeah, I would say that if from that, like if you're having a roll persuasion check, I'll give you advantage on it because you did have a very, very good.
Jesus.
Wait.
Yeah.
31.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's impossible DC. That's an impossible DC, which is crazy because I was thinking in my head, if she rolls above a 27,
Shit.
Erastus will take his backpack off his back and set it down by his feet.
All right.
What are you deciding then? What are you thinking?
He's gonna sit back down in his chair. Take a deep
Erastus,
sigh.
one thing you notice as you take your backpack off, it clinks into something, and sure enough, there's this iron flask right next to your stuff that you didn't see moments before.
Does only he notice that?
It clanked, so yeah, most of you would notice it.
Oh, you dropped something from your pack here.
Does the flask look like the one from my room?
What's this?
It looked exactly like the one from your room.
Do not, under any circumstance, touch that Erastus.
You just said it was mine. You just gave it to me.
It's not yours. I don't know how this got here.
Wait a second.
I'd like to mage hand and
you can
push it.
You can mage hand.
I'm gonna mage hand and push it.
What is going on?
Yeah, it's like Erastus doing this very personal thing, and then no. What's your decision? Fucking.
Look, Sio thought you dropped something from your bag, right? She's standing next to you. She was going to look and see if it was something out of your bag. No, it's something from Max's room that Sio knew was there. Concerned. Taking Mage Hand, taking my shoe off, using Mage Hand to use my shoe to knock this shit away.
Stop being a...
Sure.
Why
okay, so you guys all see this iron flask
like...
scoot across the room.
I just wanted to have my resolution.
Continue, please.
As soon as like Max sort of saw that flask, he would have sort of jolted up, just
Like a
just
super
sort of
emotional heart-to-heart conversation.
just-
Spider!
just sort of wary
Turned into.
for not anyone to make sure no one touches it.
It's fine. Sorry. We'll explain later. Erastus and Theo will squat down and put her hand on your knee. What are you thinking? I'm sorry. I
Annoyed.
didn't mean
It
to
wasn't
interrupt.
easy for me, you know.
I know it's not easy, and I appreciate your willingness to be open and honest with us. I truly do. I know it's not easy. But what are you thinking? All things considered, what do you want to do?
To do did not change. But I will listen to what Pin says, and I will try to find out more soon. But if we can't find out something, I gotta go.
We will do our best to find as much information as we can, as quickly as we can.
Okay. Good.
Cool. Everybody make a wisdom saving throw.
God.
Oh, what the fuck?
Okay.
Fucking man.
He was sitting on that. What?
That's the worst sentence at the worst time.
Oh my god.
Oh shit, this could be bad.
Yeah,
He
sorry,
was
guys.
sitting on that. What the fuck?
Everybody failed. That's fine. So everyone failed.
What? I got a 20.
Yeah, 20 fails. 20 fails.
Oh,
it
shit.
has to be a 25 or above, which CO did succeed last time.
Oh god.
all right.
Damn it.
Hey, Chris, before you say the
Yep.
result,
Yep.
I'm going to flash Gina Shikuli to a 25.
Oh my god.
What's fun? So everyone else sees this. Shakulo, you do not. So everyone else sees this giant creature in the middle of the room, and she addresses, or they, or he, you're not sure.
Lunge at the
addresses
table
Mac.
and grab my rings and put them back on.
It's the,
Yeah,
it's
and-
the image
and-
that you guys saw yesterday.
And I scoop
Yeah,
all
and
the
I'm
gems up.
going to put it here too. It's in group chat too, and they say, "No one's going to take my gift." Max, I was kind. I was kind.
I'll be right back. I can't fucking do this.
Pazzow, pazzow, pazzow in the flask. Goodwill to you. No one take.
What is going on?
What the fuck is a bazow?
And everyone sees this. Everyone sees this creature, except for Shakulo. You hear the voice, but you don't see anything. Yeah.
Shakulu draws his weapons and just begins looking around, and he like locks eyes on the flask, and he steps over it to have his spear hanging over it, but he doesn't do anything.
They and this creature looks at its staff and looks at the little puppet on the end of it. Says, "They don't want our gift. No gift." And then they look at you, Max, and say, "Gift to show I'm not evil. Gift to show I'm good. You trust me."
I wanna insight first off.
You can.
Yeah,
I would
wait,
also like to.
Everyone can.
Chris clinking the bracelets together, armor on.
So
Yeah, yeah.
Net one.
16 insight.
Outstanding.
Okay. Well, one of the things that you notice is that this creature is smiling and is doing its best to look non-threatening, and it's actually really trying hard.
Got a
But you
27
do,
on my insight.
yeah, but you do know there's more to this, Gretna. This creature is it's incensed. It's angry. It's impossibly emotional, but also keeping itself together at the same time, which is slowly driving it insane. So you see all of that within its small little facial like tics and inflections. And then the creature goes back to you, Max, and says, "I am good, Slad, and I give you gift. And if you take gift, you will see I am good."
Chris, Slad's native to Chulp. Do I recognize this?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You would know this.
Oh, fuck.
You would know what this is. There are so the slad, the only slad that's in Schult is the green slad, and I don't think that you would know the significance to that, because it has to do with their life cycle. But yeah, for whatever reason in Schult, there's only green slads. I know the reason, but I'm not sure that you would. But I will let you make a nature check to see if you know why that's the case.
I'm pretty good at that.
Does this specific?
Nope, not that good at it. Apparently, not today.
Yeah, you just think that maybe green slats are forest slats or jungle slats, and that's why they might be there. You're not exactly sure. Anyway, so go ahead, Number. What was your question?
Does this specific slot with the scepter and like the crown looking? It seems to be important. It's
black. So first of all, it's black, and the crown that it is of course is its skull, but it's gold on top. But go ahead. Yeah.
Would like I get any indication of like what it is?
It's just that you would just know that it thinks it's important, like everyone else that's looking at it. You have no idea what the hell that puppet thing is. By all means, though, everyone can speak to this. Everyone can see it. Everyone can speak to it. And if you are going to look at it, the slad will turn to you and say, skinny man, skinny small man, you want Flask? If Max can't do it, maybe you be good. You take Flask. Do you know what Flask? It says, do you know what Flask has inside of it? No, I haven't told you, but you don't seem interested.
Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you very much.
Max is gonna.
Is everyone just cool with this?
Max is gonna chime up and say, "Why are you trying to?" And he's gonna make quotation marks. Help us, or help me.
And she points to you, Max. And she says, "Because you think you're going to rule throne one day? Ha ha! No, I help you. You stay out of demonness. Politic. No, I help you. You stay."
What?
What is this thing?
And she points back to Max, and she says, Max is going to be demon royalty one day, but no. I help Max no be demon royalty. Give him reasons to stay here instead.
Max has this confused ass look on his face.
Max.
What
do they say?
I have no idea what's going on.
Do I believe him?
But I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can totally insight Max. Max has to oppose you, but then Max has to also.
What am I imposing?
Well, let's see. Really, you just have to roll. You have to roll deception, even though it doesn't necessarily mean you're deceiving anyone. Because if you don't roll deception, we don't know if what's really going on. But
I did it.
I don't think anyone ever. What is the highest roll anyway?
9.
Oh, we're all doing insight checks again?
If you want to. Max, what did you roll? Just out of curiosity.
8.
I got a 9.
I believe him.
Okay, well there you go. So Max, you are able to tell them how what's going on.
Max has no idea what the hell he's talking about. You can tell Max has never once considered demon royalty. He doesn't even. He told you earlier, he doesn't even fully understand his demon lineage. So he's got no idea what he's saying.
Let me get this straight. Very soon after you turn into a demon and threaten him, I point to Umbra. This guy shows up, tries to keep you out of some plot with demon fucking royalty, and this is coincidence?
He said, and this creature says, "No coincidence. I give Max Pazuzu,
Thank you,
powerful
Frog.
Demon Lord in Flask, one of eldest, most reprehensible of his ilk, caught in Flask, dark angel of the four winds, prince of the lower aerial kingdoms. He holds sway over all evil flying creatures. I give to you, Max. You take Iron Flask, give great power, and you take Iron Flask, Use power for good in Faerun. Be a hero. Oh, so impressive, hero. And stay out of Abyss. No royalty.
All right,
No
thank you very
freedom.
much, Jabba the
I
Flat.
want to incite him one more time.
Yeah, go for
Do
it.
I?
There's Pazuzu in there.
Fuck, man.
Theo, book.
What is that? Yeah, can Sio look in the book for this?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
excessively long
There's a
name?
fucking chapter dedicated to this asshole.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So yes, if you want to open the book, you can. When you open the book, by the way, she says, "What? You have that awful book, Tasha the whore's book? Oh, you're so special."
Called me a bitch.
I'm stepping between him and Theo.
Jealous.
Max
Yeah.
is
And
gonna.
eyes glow very brightly blue in his armor.
Max is gonna.
Oh, don't worry, Turtle. Don't worry. Your tiefling girl has special book from Tasha. Tasha got that book from Yucky Sex Ritual.
Max is gonna
sure
slowly
did.
head towards the frog slad thing.
So, and Theo, do you want to know what's in the book real quick? I
Yeah.
can tell you. All right. So it says, Pazuzu was a powerful demon lord and one of the eldest and most reprehensible of them all. Just like she said, he was also called the Dark Angel of the Four Winds, Prince of the Lower Aerial Kingdoms. But the most important thing is that so Pazu had a personal guard called the Six Wings of Pazrael at his command. It's rumored that Pazuzu, just like Asmodeus, probably started as an angel, which is why they're so incredibly powerful. He is the entire reason why there is a blood war going on. He is probably one of the most influential and up until recently one of the most powerful demon lords in existence. He's now, if she's telling the truth, trapped in an iron flask sitting in front of Max.
You know what? Normally I am against it. I think this one can go to your woman. I don't want any part of this.
Yeah, Theo,
I'm not about it. I'm gonna bow out of this.
can old,
Max has sort of made his way
Handle this.
over towards the slad sort of illusion and sort of is nearby the flask, and he's looking towards the party, and he's noticed that Theo has the book out, and he's looking towards Theo especially, sort of
how about you don't get closer to that thing than you are
Yeah.
right now?
with a look of
Out of character, I
What
feel
should I
so
do?
bad because I think Theo's one of the only characters that other characters have called her a bitch that like 3 times. Jesus Christ! I
Yeah.
swear I did not plan that, Theo. But it
She is
Yeah.
very jaded to being called a bitch and a hag
Yeah.
and anything else under the sun. It's not new.
Yeah.
It's just different faces.
Yeah.
I would like to reiterate that Shakulu stepped over the flask and he's hovering his weapon over it.
And by the way, if you make any are you taking the staff out, Theo?
No, not
Okay.
yet. Because
Alright.
she will look to Max and Shakulu and she will slowly start walking over, but the two of you would definitely see that her face is really, really pale. And she's just like, not aggressively, but just like insistently shaking her head no, like do not touch it.
Let's go chuck this thing down a garbage disposal.
Oh God!
No.
I smash? No.
No.
She also says, Basil, Mephistopheles, they trap Pazuzu for me. Give to you, Max. Great honor. Stay up here.
You told us yesterday to stay away from Mephistopheles and not accept anything from him.
What?
Yes.
You talked to him
yes,
yesterday?
Yes. But don't contradict me. No.
I'm gonna fucking hit something.
Max, Shakulu, I need you to do me a favor.
What is
Stand between me and the slot and don't turn around.
what are you gonna do?
The
I
thing.
need
Trust me. Please, just trust me.
He says, "What are you going to do?
I'm
Don't take."
I am turning between them, and I'm turning around. I'm big enough to armor on this.
She or they or whatever it is takes the staff and starts talking to the puppet. Says, "They take my gift, I think. Yes." And the puppet does put its head up and down and says, "Yes." Says, "Good. I thought so. Good. Max, we be great friends."
So Max has turned around and is facing the creature. But with my blind sight, am I able to sort of suss out what CO is doing behind, sort of vaguely?
Yes. And with your blind sight, you also know that this character is not obviously here.
Yeah.
They are projected. Yeah.
I'm stepping in front of her and throwing my cloak open with Mage Hand to try and like make a curtain.
Yeah, and I got the other side of my bulk.
Chris,
Yep.
real sorry. I'm gonna have to head out. Family wants to spend time together.
That's fine. Yep. Yeah, no worries. I totally understand. Thanks for joining though, Amanda.
Thank you for being here, Pan, for saving the day.
Amazing.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I stayed until the end of the whole Erastus thing, but I do have to head out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks.
Let me know if anything big happens. Bye, guys.
Hi.
Yeah.
Bye, thank you.
5 minutes later. Pan, we all died.
No, I don't
Turns
think
out
all
you
of us.
did get that back up.
Damn it, I was gonna play Abram.
Yeah. So CO asking, she's gonna wait for Max and Shikulu to turn around.
Yeah. We've turned around. We're facing the sled thing.
I'm just flipping this lad off.
Yeah, she says, "What are you doing? Why you distract me? Who touches the gift?"
It was Umbra making a curtain between CO and the Slad, or around CO from Max and Shikulu?
I am doing I'm throwing the cape open so you see all the moth patterns in front of CO so the slide can't see what's going on.
Okay, then as Umbra does that, CO's touching she'll slink it out from up her sleeve far enough so that the rod will touch it without her having to fully take it out of her sleeve.
This might let him loose.
I'm hoping it means they will go to not this plane of existence, but Chris, how bad did I fuck up?
All right, cool. So you touch. So the staff does activate. You touch the end of the staff to the iron flask, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it does disappear. It's recalled. And as soon as that happens, by the way, the creature said, "What? What?
What happened?
Wasted my gift, Max. Max, we are no longer friends. Oh, Max!" And then she goes away.
Yeah, why don't you fuck back off where you came from, tub of butter?
And she's gone. Or they're gone.
Okay. I'm glad that
That was like an
What did
That was
you
like
do,
an
Sawyer?
Underdark 2.
You do hear a voice, like an echoey voice. Same thing though going through. She says, "Now I stick Edwin on you. Oh, Edwin, fry you to crisp, all of you." And then that's it.
That's not incredibly ominous.
Yeah, fucking hot bag of gas.
Max is gonna turn around and what did you do, Sawyer?
No, what'd you do?
she'll just glance at Max and she'll look really, really stressed, and she'll just mouth, "I'm sorry," and then throw open the Demonomicon and try looking up Edwin and Slod and anything that could pull something.
There's nothing. I will let everyone make a very difficult to discern history check on the name Edwin for any famous or important
Damn it.
first name.
I could really use fucking. Kaylee, can I get a guidance?
Yeah, you can have a guidance.
I wish Amanda was here. I could get a bardic inspiration.
Woo, 3.
Yeah. Oh, so
Yeah, there's too. Even for you, there's just not enough information here, fortunately. You do remember vaguely. You remember vaguely though that there was when you were basking Luskin and you were like
Is it
looking
Umberville?
for. I think everybody rolled. Umbra, did you roll?
I was gonna say, can I also get a guidance, or is it only one?
It's one per concentration.
One. It's
All right,
one.
hold on.
Yeah, it's one.
Oh, yeah. I didn't roll the
Is this history or arcana, did you say?
History.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the only thing that you would have remembered is there was something about
You
a
rolled the
wizard
same thing.
from Thay, like a red wizard from Thay that was important, and you remember his name was Edwin, but that's it. You don't know if that's the same Edwin, by the way.
Thay's all the way over there.
Yeah.
I've got nothing. Just, I think one of those red wizards mentioned something about an Edwin, but I have nothing more to go on than that.
Damn it, Amanda! Now you say.
The Edwin that you remember, by the way, is you do remember his last name though, Edwin Odyssean.
Could you spell that, please?
Odesseiron. The only reason you even remember this guy is because he carries the Staff of Power. So there's a story about him with the Staff of Power, and the fact that Zom is actually jealous of Edwin because of this. So Edwin is always fearful that Zom will one day just come in and kill him for the staff. But he's a pretty big deal. You remember him in a lot of stories about like Thay and why Thay is dangerous. So.
That doesn't make any sense, though. Why would a Slod have anything to do with Edwin Odyssean?
I don't. This.
Max?
Oh my god, my head hurts.
Max, why did they come to see you? They were talking to you directly. Why is that?
I look to Seo and I don't know. Seo and I talked to them before we tucked in for the night. I was talking to Seo about my past, things that had happened, and they showed up. And they said they come bearing a gift, and I'm not sure how you saw it, Seo, but they merely dropped the iron flask and it wound up in the room. And Seo and I agreed to not lay a hand on it until we gathered everyone up and discussed it then, which I was going to get to, but apparently it already happened, and I don't know how it ended up in Erasmus's equipment.
Right now, around this time too, you get a whisper in your head. It's a message though, and it says, "Hi, terribly sorry for this. It's Flimp, by the way. Just wanted to let you know that chill is happening all over the world. Be careful."
God, it's happening.
Guys, I just got a message from a friend,
We don't
and
need
I
to know.
link and say, this cold, it's happening all over the world. Oh, can I assume I can message him back, but
You can. Yeah.
do we know what the source is?
And said, no, love, don't know the source. However, just be careful. Still investigating everything. Maybe it's best to stay there. I don't actually know. We're actually going to head up north to see what's going on.
Oh man.
Did you say that out loud?
I say, oh man, out loud.
No, I
Yeah.
meant like that they're going north.
Well then I say, yeah, I'll tell everybody. Flimp is in my head, and he says that it's happening all over the world. They're gonna head up north, Guys, you think we should go with him?
That's where Kina was last time I talked to her, and I kind of make a point to stay as far away from her as I can.
Right.
Or at least out of sword range.
Well, Fintrick said that his party was there as well. So, take that.
So why would we go there?
Safety in numbers?
Well, no, just being on the ship might be safe.
That's kind of the opposite way I need to go.
Right, and I think if this is a... Damn it. There's no easy way to get answers anymore.
Yeah, what a surprise. Kind of how it constantly goes. We try to do one thing, and we get thrown into something else against our will.
Can we just identify it?
Once that whole exchange goes through, same effect. All the infinite like Jaces come through, and then they coalesce into one point. He's in your demi-plane. He says, "Oh my God, that actually worked! Quickly, don't have much time. Everybody, listen to me. Ariel is dead.
What?
Ariel is dead. Strahd killed her. All of this is happening now. Listen, all of it's happening now. I don't think it's something that we need to deal with immediately, but understand this is terrible. I didn't see this coming. Strahd escaped. Ariel is dead." And he says, I really can't talk more. As a matter of fact, I am actually going to another group right now to try to hedge my bets here. But understand that this is terribly bad. And as he says that, by the way, you notice that his skin starts to sizzle again. He's
what group?
What should we do?
He says that there's more people with the books. If you remember everything that I said before, follow all those instructions. Also, he says, I don't even know if it's good for you to go up there or not. Just do your best and make sure that you just maybe stay here. I gotta go. And he flees out again.
Well, the good news, guys, is if it's Strahd by the book, we could fuck him up at this level.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Strahd's strong enough to breach his own demi-plane? I don't know what's going on anymore.
What about Strahd, God of Winter?
Yeah, I'm good. Hard pass. He nearly kept my last character as his bride. I'm not looking forward to meeting him again.
I mean,
Oral's
I
dead.
would-
Fuck you, Kino.
Out of character though, something would have had to kill Ariel. That's the thing. So everyone
Who is Ariel? I've never heard of this chick.
The goddess of ice. Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. She's the BBG.
Jesus.
She's the BBG. Also the fuck around and find out arc of Group A's shenanigans a couple months ago.
This Group C.
This probably isn't Group A.
This is
but I don't
probably.
know.
You say that very confidently.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Is this fog dangerous? Is it magically dangerous? This is what we have to figure out if we can go out into it or whether we're like trapped here as hostages.
Why don't you let me go out with the armor and figure that shit out?
Okay.
Well, I mean, Zyles, when he came here.
Yeah.
You seemed okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if that was Zyle, I don't trust anyone anymore, given what just happened in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, Chris, can I roll a history for Strahd?
Yeah, of course. Yep. He's a fable, by the way. Strahd is 100%. There's all kinds of stuff in Strahd, but he's a fable. Yeah, so 28. You would know that beyond all the fables of Strahd, that you would know that Strahd is trapped in this domain of dread by these things called the Dark Powers that no one knows anything about. But you would know that Strahd does occasionally take people from Faerun. You've never heard of any story that has ever mentioned anything about Strahd escaping or being in the real world or anything like that, which is why he's a fable, by the way, because all the stories about him in this mystical place called Barovia, which doesn't exist, and it's really like warning tales about keep your children close to you, don't go off in dark alleys, maybe don't go into mist, stuff like that. So the one thing that's confusing, so apparently Strahd's real, and apparently he escaped his domain, he went to the north, and we know Auril is dead.
Can Seal try and see if Strahd's in the Demonomicon?
Yeah, sure. You flip through it. You flip through it, but he's not. Yeah, he's not in the Demonomicon.
Chris, I have one question. It's a little out of off base from where we're at.
Sure.
But this is a question I've had burning. And it might be very pertinent regarding what Erastus does next. Where can you get teleportation sigils? Like, is there somewhere where that you can go and like, I'm trying to get the teleportation sigil for Tashalar?
Any major any major city that has a teleportation circle, what you would have to do is you would have to work it out with their government. So the governments at this point own almost all of them, not all of them. As a matter of fact, this teleportation circle was sealed underneath a pyramid. But if Kalimport was a whole thing right now, you would have had to go all the way to the top to try to scry those, or somehow convince the local people that are guarding them that you can do this. But otherwise, they're illegal. You can't just go through and start scrying whatever. You can find incredibly powerful mages sometimes that already know them, and then you can just tell you what they are if you convince them to go through that. You would know this as a mage. Pen would certainly know this too, since she has them. But they're hard. They're super hard because essentially you either have to find people that know them, or you have to go down and copy them, and you have to convince those people that it's okay that you do that. The thing is, and keep this in mind, teleportation circles like this are actually kind of Trojan horses, and the cities all know this. There's a reason why they still exist, and there's a reason why they're allowed to exist and go through it. There is a counterbalance to these in Ed Greenwood's books, which you wouldn't know about. That's a highly guarded secret, but that's why they're so protected. That's why you can't just walk up and be like, oh hey, I'm gonna go copy down the Neverwinter, because imagine you had that and you just bring an army into their area and you take Neverwinter out from the inside, and that's why they're so highly guarded.
Well, I was just kind of trying to see if we do agree to go north, if we could teleport to like Tashalar, but it sounds like that's not really possible.
It's I mean, you have to figure out a way.
It seems like the story's pointing north, and he's agreed to hang around, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be any intention to go south at all. So
now out of game, no one has to do anything. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, trust me, most of them, so don't worry about it. But
hey, the first sign of the apocalypse is happening, but don't worry, no one has to do anything.
Yeah, feels like we have to do this.
No, Sio at this point, when the Demonomicon doesn't yield anything, she takes it and slams it shut. And she's going to hold her face in her hands as she'll just slump on the couch, pull out her journal, and she's going to start messaging Ren and Azrael, asking them what happened in the north. And why is it cold in the desert?
In the world.
Yeah. So in a couple minutes, the only one that messaged you back is Azrael, and he says, "Holy shit! I can't believe this even works right now."
Why is everyone so surprised? About everything?
Most of my group is dead, Sio. Need to talk to you. Can you get me to you?
Unfortunately not in Kalimport. I don't have the means of using teleportation.
Alright. Message is only once, right?
Well,
you have to cast it again? Yeah, you'd have to use the book, yeah.
Chris, quick question. If Sio read my thoughts to know what Beshel Tinney looked like, could she message him?
She could try. She could definitely try. Yeah.
Oh, well, no. Greta doesn't know what happened there. Never mind.
Like, no, I think of his workshop and what he looks like.
Exactly. She can try. Yeah. She can try.
Yeah.
Is Azrael up north?
He was last I spoke to him.
Oh. I didn't. I'm asking actually out of character because I had just told everybody that Flimp is taking his ship up north. Just saying.
Yeah, Azrael is up north in Grimskala. That was the last location. They were heading to Grimskala. That was the last location that Fentrix said. So. I think he said that to everybody anyway, but I don't know if no one.
Because
here
unless
knew
Theo
that.
shares with the group what she did there, then Gretna would
Right.
know.
She is not, and she's messaging Azrael again, saying, "Unfortunately, I do not have means of teleportation, but we are in Calimport. What did you do?"
We went to Grimskala to go fight a real, and some person came out of the sky and literally ate her. And most of my friends froze to death. I probably am dying.
Very calm about that.
Out of character, Theo, you know that Flimp's ship is going up north.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She knows.
Okay.
There's a complicated thing going on. No one will understand, unfortunately, or appreciate. But yeah,
She's gonna ask him, what does he mean he's dying?
no response.
Oh my god!
That was fast!
Oh, well, I was going to question the trustworthiness, but I guess that's no longer an issue. The problem has solved itself.
Yeah, no, Sio's not gonna laugh about it. She's gonna try and message him again and just ask Azrael.
No, there's no response.
Snake?
Those guys never had a chance.
Snake?
Unfortunately, they were in the epicenter of Strahd eating Urel, which is the worst place to be. So
So Strahd has consumed a god. Cool.
Alright.
Right.
Wait, if someone is dead and you cast sending or message on them, do you,
You don't-
know?
no,
You don't get a
No.
dial tone.
no, you don't know. You have no idea. They just either respond or they don't, but you
This
don't know.
line
if
has
they
been
bet.
disconnected.
Well, it's like,
He could literally just not be. He could literally just not be talking to you.
okay, so Sio doesn't know how to take that, so she's just very, very slowly going to close her book, and she's going to very slowly stand up, and she's just going to walk to her room.
I'm gonna go
Yes,
with her.
Steel's pretty gangster, guys. You guys don't even know. Steel's gangster. All
Yeah,
the way.
she's the main character. We know.
Shakula walks
She's the
over to
main. She's the main morally gray, kind of evil character. Yep.
Morally
She's the main
Gray!
Yep.
Morally
I love
Gray!
it. I love it. I think it's awesome. You guys don't even know, but anyway. Yeah.
What do you? Are you shocked that you're morally gray? Is that what's shocking?
Anyway, no, it's good stuff. It's all very good stuff. I'm very happy. So
Raise orphans on the streets.
that's true.
Oh,
That is
okay.
Gray.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Strahd
so
has
the-
been
the
tortured
best-
by the reincarnation of his
true.
wife.
The best part about this, Seo, is I literally have, like most characters, but especially your character because of your arc, I literally have like a prophecy set up, and you are fulfilling all of it. It's fucking insane. I
Uh-oh.
love it.
What?
I should have actually given it to you before because now you're just gonna think I'm writing it afterwards. But
So yeah, whatever
anyway,
you're doing,
so,
don't
yeah.
do it.
I couldn't do that. The problem is I couldn't just give it to you because then you wouldn't do any of the stuff. But I'm very
Well,
happy.
whatever
Anyway,
you're thinking of,
It's Sio.
So
Jesus
whatever,
Christ.
no, do or don't do it, because I don't think we're gonna make it to Grimskala in time to save his ass.
well, who said we're going there?
I'm really hoping it's the prophecy of Sio the Vampire Slayer.
Oh god. Shakula walks over to the freaking wine plant and like pulls like 4 strawberries, pops one in his mouth, sits down on a couch and just goes, "So the world is ending?"
What is not ending?
Yeah, Sia's gonna ask Kiri to go grab some strawberries for them. She's gonna go sit in the shower for a little while.
yeah. Now you guys do see. So same effect happens. Infinite things. Jace comes back briefly.
Oh god.
Listen,
Fucking go away,
listen,
dude!
listen. I cannot stay long. He ignores you. He says, just, please. He says, all right, listen. Don't have long. Strahd consumed Urel. Not much anyone can do about that. Strahd's going to take the north. At this point,
Well,
it's completely on you guys what you'd like to do. I'm gonna work out a plan for all of this now. I didn't see this coming. This is pretty bad. Strahd is insanely powerful, and a terrible, terrible, terrible person to be up there, considering that he no longer has his curse. He's totally free.
Should we get the items you requested so that you can
Yes.
stay on this realm?
Yes, absolutely. He said, "Here's the problem. I just had to go to Eberron, and it's
Wait,
getting
what?
harder and harder to." Yeah, it's a long story. I had to go.
Special
save somebody.
Tinny.
Yeah.
Special Tinny.
He said, you can see his skin bubbling. He said, "What? What? Your master? What?"
Is he? Can he help?
He's your mid-level like artificer. He's decent. By the way, there's so much that you don't know about him. There's so much you don't know about him. Yes, he's from Eberron, but I told you to not go for a reason. So anyway, by the way, I'm actually impressed. I'm impressed with you. And he points his finger at you. This is the very first time that you've ever had any fucking sense. And he says, listen, really, this really fucking hurts. I've got to go. And he
Good.
leaves.
Wait, what about
Fuck
Eberron?
him in his stupid ass hood.
Can we call him back? Is there like a return button?
I'm sure he's a C tier character in a card game somewhere.
I do hate that he's the main character of MTG. That pisses me off.
Yeah. At that, as Sio tries to yell after him for a question, she's gonna grip the stairwell really hard, and she's just gonna sit, like butt first on the floor, just sit there and hold her face in her hands.
Out of game, by the way, does anyone know his story at all? Because it very much ties into this.
Nope.
I know
Okay.
like War of the Spark, freaking he becomes the guild pack, all of that shit is relevant?
Yeah, well, you'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
So out of game, just so everyone understands, Wizards of the Coast decided that they were going to try to do the impossible, which is bridge those lores together, because it's very, very dumb that Ravnica is in and Strixhaven are in these things, but they kind of had to because it's their best-selling property. That said, I will say they did take the best of the lore writers over there, and they worked with Chris Perkins for months, and the story's actually good. So just as an FYI, but this will all come up later books. But
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I know what we have to do.
To answer your question, I know about like all of the Magic the Gathering stuff up until Nicol Bolas dies. I fell off after that.
Okay, cool.
Max
No, it's
is-
I didn't expect anyone to. It's curious.
I know what we have to do, and I fucking hate it.
Max is gonna head to his room, go and grab a coat, and then he's gonna head outside.
Shakalu looks at Erastus and takes a bite of the second strawberry. And what's the plan?
We have to go to Lantern.
What's
Go ahead.
No, like we've talked about Lantern. It's a school of some sort. I was gonna ask what's Lantern, but honestly, like
Artificery, it isn't from this world. I learned it from my master, who's from a place called Eberron. And if they're at the center of this, then the artificers of Lantern came over too. My master does not like them. He told me not to trust them. But I feel like I have no point. But if they have a library, it's multiplanal, and if there's anyone that I can think of that might know what Strahd coming here, getting out of his little fuckery hole and eating a god, if there's anyone that can make any sense of that, it's probably the gnomes of Lantern.
And
I pull out my rock and I contact Flint with it, and I tell him we found out what the cold was all about. Strahd has eaten, killed, consumed Ariel, and that's what's causing all of this. He's pretty much taken the north.
Can you ask your booty call if we'll take us to Lantern?
maybe.
He'll respond back and say, "Are you sure?" If
Yeah,
so,
Jace just showed up and told us.
He said, Jace?
You
He
know,
said,
Jace.
he said, well, just, maybe I should just come to you then. Or do you want to meet us at the ship?
Yeah.
Everybody? Hello?
I'll go to the.
Give me, I'll call you back. Bye.
I'll go to the ship, but I'm only gonna go.
You're gonna love this ship, Erastus. I mean,
I
I
know
trust
what
him
a
enough.
nautiloid
You hang
is.
up.
I know what a nautiloid is. Not that impressive.
Yeah. Right.
But
Okay.
look. Okay. Listen, Linda. Lantern sucks a lot. So I've been told. But I think it's the play here. And it puts me in trouble. So 2 birds, 1 nautiloid.
It's a nice nautiloid.
Yeah, I don't want to see the parts you've seen.
I'd say by this point,
I
Max,
don't think he wants to show you the parts I've seen, but I've seen the whole ship, so I don't know. You want to just sit in a closet? I suppose you could do that too.
Drop down disco ball.
I'm fine with that.
I'd say by this point, Max has come down the stairs and he's just gonna say to everyone, I'm just gonna take a look outside, judge the situation, and also think about some ideas that we could do next.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If
Another thing
if
about
anyone
land.
wants to join me, then feel free to.
No.
Sia will get up and she'll just
Aren't you in
quietly
the shower?
the door. No, she was going to. Then Jace's bitch ass showed up and she just
And-
parked on the floor.
Look, Lantern also has, like, a bunch of magic items. Like, a lot. Like, a lot. And I feel like, I don't know, we're probably gonna need them to go fight a God Eater. Or, you know, the people that sided with the God Eater. Still not entirely convinced Kino didn't do this somehow, but
Oh yeah. I mean, she might have. Where are they?
they were in the north when I talked to her last, but that's right after we found Max. And
They're at
So they're
which
dead
light? They're in
probably, but I feel like if Kino died, there would be like the sky split open and like bells or devils would rain down. It could be devils with bells. I don't know.
They're in Cormir at the
They're in
Witchlight.
Cormir.
Witchlight. I talked to her and Henri earlier.
What?
Fine.
Uh,
Going to Prismir apparently. Whatever, wherever that is.
they kind of just. Oh wow! They flipped from one thing to another.
Alright.
What am I looking at here?
I'm mildly concerned.
Okay, Greta, do you want to go pay your boy toy a visit?
Yeah, I think it's a smart idea. But we have to take Max and everybody else. I don't think we should go alone.
Max has already
Oh.
headed out, so
Yeah, he's already gone.
Matt, no, all right.
Shit. Well,
Yeah,
Chris, does that mean me and Kelly's backup characters are still all part of the crew?
You'll see. We'll see.
please don't.
I made a backup character. I just haven't attached him to
I
the
don't want
campaign
to
yet.
talk to. I don't want Erastus to talk to my golden retriever ranger. Most agreeable PC in the world. Yeah, you guys going? Yeah, sure, cool. I'll go. Yeah, let's go. Whatever.
So Chris, what do I see outside?
So, when you walk outside, what you see is a low-hanging fog that is incredibly cold. That's what's actually causing the this effect to go through. It's also, I mean, it seems completely harmless, and it is slowly dissipating.
Oh, okay.
Whatever's happening is slowly dissipating.
Okay. Max is gonna put his
The temperature is very slowly getting up to normal. Yeah.
For now, Max is just gonna put his semi-worn coat on, and he's gonna take a walk around around the town. He'll pass by the clothing shop for where his order is. See if that's done. He's going to be thinking.
It is done, by the way. So if you go by and go through that, you'll be able to pick that up. Yeah, that's finished.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Now, everyone, when you walk out, Max, the whole city is abuzz and kind of like excited, a little terrified. Every now and then somebody like screams or whatever. You also notice that the water is actually frozen right now, and a lot of the kids are in complete awe. They've never seen anything like this. A lot of them have never seen like ice like this in general, because ice is a luxury here in Collinport. So you have like kids in the fountains going through and like walking on the water and slipping and all that stuff. There's a lot of commotion going on. Everyone's outside looking at this effect.
Max is in. He's trying to, I guess, somewhat enjoy the fun atmosphere that everyone's providing, but he's definitely got other things on his mind. So he's gonna take his new piece of clothing, and after just sort of standing around one of the frozen fountains, he's gonna make his way back to the room.
Cool. All right.
We could go and.
All right. Yep. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say to Greta as we're walking, we could go and talk to the Lapal League.
What?
The Lapal League.
Paul League.
Lapal League. They're nearby here. Well, it's like a confederation.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I mean like they're like 100 miles down coast, but they're not pretty strong. Trying to get an audience with them. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Trying to fix this, and Shakula waves a hand in the air.
Well, yeah, in a southerly direction. Because and you'll notice that as we get outside, Erasmus is moving slow, like half his speed.
Oh.
We don't do cold very good. I don't have hair. I'm not meant for this.
Would Max have passed by them?
Yeah, you can find them. Yeah.
Greta, before I forget,
You go, Umbra.
I would just hold up my hands again before it gets too crazy, any more crazy.
Yeah.
Shakulu is being very paranoid. Like every time someone screams, he like jerks in that direction, just trying to keep like he's expecting like absolute chaos. Like people start looting shit.
People are absolutely talking amongst themselves about what is happening, what's going on. Most of the children and younger people are actually really happy about this. They see it as like a miracle, once in a lifetime thing, like something fun. The older people obviously are worried, but.
Oh, like this. Oh my, your teeth are chattering.
Max is gonna so he'll pass by
Well, actually, and real quick, Erasmus, you can make a standard intelligence check to push everything together. I'm gonna make those a real thing, so you're definitely intelligent enough to do this. Go ahead and give me a straight up intelligence check to put everything together.
18? No, that's a save.
Right.
Whoops, that's a save.
Yeah.
It was also an 18.
Yeah, you would understand from an 18. This is your best guess that you can. What you think is Strahd consumed Auril, and when that happened, it released a bunch of Auril's dormant energy. You would be shocked if Auril is gone forever, although you don't know exactly what happens if a god consumes another god. Maybe she is, but this cold is a symptom of Auril's death.
I kind of thought that.
Yeah.
Well, do I think it will naturally warm up again?
Yeah, probably.
So Max passing by Gretna and Erastus are walking outside, correct?
Yep. You guys can pass. Yeah.
Yeah. Max will say, I had some time to think, but I want to know what you guys think we should do. Especially you, Erastus.
What's the time frame on the getting cold, getting warm of the whole?
Sure, warm eventually.
Like, are we talking months, years, decades, generations? What's that like?
Well, the second law of thermodynamics doesn't really take into account divinity, so it's hard to say.
Yes.
Max will take his coat and sort of place it on Erastus's back, and he's going to say,
I'm going to pick the coat up and give it back to him.
Max will he'll smirk and he'll just chuck his coat over his shoulder, and he's going to say, I'm going to head back to the room and talk with Xiles about us leaving early. I'll see you guys at the ship then, I guess.
Anyways, I can do an experiment to figure out the rate of, well, I don't know a word for this, but we'll just say thermal incline, but I need salt and water in about a day.
I think we'll be gone by then.
Yeah, that's the only, that's really the only thing I have. And that's assuming this increases at a constant rate, which I can't guarantee it will. The divinity just breaks physics.
So who's left in the rooms?
Probably CO, because she was going to go with Max, stopped to talk with Erastus and them, so Max left, so she just parked her ass.
Shower.
How long have they been gone? The party from the room between Max going and doing his business and everyone walking outside?
I would assume maybe 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, it's around that, yeah. Yep.
Okay. As they do that, knowing that everyone's gone, CO is going to take the rod out and just start touching everything with it. The boozy strawberries and water.
Yeah.
Just going to start touching everything on a demi-plane.
It does glow. It does glow, and everything reacts, but it doesn't consume or take anything. But yes.
That's fine.
You're like
She's trying to get the mistress tipsy?
You're like the rock star in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Why is it fucked up?
She's trashing the hotel room.
Yeah, she's just touching everything to it, and she's going to be munching on some of those boozy strawberries and is just going to try and think and digest what the fuck just happened.
I do have one more idea. Somewhere we could go, maybe get an answer. But it's a long shot.
At this point, Max would make his way into the main room, and he'll head up to his room and start gathering up his stuff, and he'll put on his new clothing.
Cool.
When
Okay.
when Erastus says that, I like put my hand out like and.
To Shulta.
Who?
What's in
Is
Schultz?
that a dance? What
To
is it?
Shulta is the capital city of Tashalar.
Oh.
They're obsessed with divinity there. I went through there once and I got sold like 3 tarot card decks. But they have a Church of Savras there.
Are you trying to find someone that knows about divination?
That's like the divination place. If any person can, if we can find someone that can see the future, they're there.
Okay.
That actually sounds like I like that one.
Rest in peace, Umbra's subclass.
Aww.
I'm standing behind Erastus as he's saying this, kind of being like and then he's like, we need that, and he's like, oh.
Oh, you're like you sniff the future sometimes. They can see it like in 4K.
Do you even know what you don't even know how I've changed things since we started hanging out.
Yeah, but the problem is neither do you, so we need like that clear
Of course I
picture. No.
I've been doing this for almost
The
2
whole-
decades now. It's been a while.
Yeah, you haven't been doing it since you were 2.
I mean, I could tell you I saw a future where Seal walked through the wrong portal.
Okay.
And I saw one where
No offense, we need grandeur here. We need grandeur.
Should we go
Whoa.
kill? Should we go kill this vampire? Shakulu asks Umbra.
Yeah, shake him when he says ask again later.
probably not a good idea at this moment. I think maybe we need to get stocked before we try to take on a fabled vampire that is released from this place.
I
There's a
think
lot to take in.
I still think Land's the best choice. I would rather go to Tashalar, but I still think Land's the best choice. I don't want to go north at all because
I mean,
very contrary to everything that I just stated as my desire.
don't get me wrong, I would absolutely love to go to this capital of divination. It sounds very interesting. But would we take the ship there?
We could,
I don't know.
maybe.
Let's-
go talk
let's-
to him.
Yeah, we should see what their input is. It's their ship.
I think our answer does lie in Chult. Very nice there. There's beaches and only a lot of, well, not a lot, only a little Yanti.
I mean, I will not be checking out the beaches if we go to Schultz.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit cold for that now.
Okay.
You might like Port Nyanzaru. It's fun.
I want a library and
So, Gretna, the way to the airship is you would know what he's talking about is that raft is still going to be on the coast. You are going to have to take the raft out to the there's basically like a platform that's out in the ocean. That platform has the teleportation circle that you can step on and enter the ship.
How many of us can fit on that boat?
A good 6, but what you could do is you could definitely like ferry multiple people over, or just do half of half. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, well, keep on
You guys could try to fit all 7 too. You could try to fit everybody.
Well, the rest is pretty heavy, so
That is the problem. Yeah.
I think we'll take that.
Erastus could swim next to you if you liked to, but yeah.
Is the water as cold as everything else?
Yeah, he'd have to check. That is a problem, but he'd have to check.
Brett,
I can roll him. I can roll him and back and forth and everybody. That's fine.
Okay.
Oh,
Would you allow, Chris, do you allow heat metal to like warm if I use the casting of heat metal? Do I have to do like full damage, like 100%, or could I just like make it warm metal?
No, though, unfortunately, it's full damage. I mean, here's the thing: if it was crazy cold and you did heat metal, there is actually an entire thing in second edition about how the cold nullifies heat metal. But in this case, it's not that cold. You'll find it's not cold enough, so it wouldn't matter.
I'll dip my foot in the water. Does it like penetrate through my armor?
It's 30 degrees. It's 30 degrees.
Oh,
so
I'm
it's
dead
cold.
in 2 minutes.
It's cold. It's
Uncle
cold.
Fermi's gonna set in there, boy.
Yeah. Whatever effect this happened, it must see now you get now that you know that Erastus, you're sure this effect covered everything. The only way the water could be this cold is if it really did hit all the areas. You think this probably did hit the entire world when she died.
I'm gonna reach
Or
in
was
my pack
concerned.
and I want to take out the flame elemental core. Is it warm?
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna hug it.
Yep, it is. Yeah.
What I'm hearing is that like 30% of all life on this planet just died.
Well, that's the one unfortunate thing is that for it to get to here, you don't know how. I mean, maybe it was 30. Maybe it's this cold everywhere. Maybe it was worse up north. You don't know.
Okay. I can do this. And I'm gonna get onto the raft and try to this.
Yeah, but Erastus, you would know this. It's probably unlikely that things survived Icewind Dale. It would be like a frozen nuclear bomb going off.
Yeah.
It would literally be the opposite of a nuclear bomb. It'd be just pure cold.
A fission bomb.
Yeah.
So
Just
Which is still a
absolute
nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
For me and Erasmus are the first one in. I'm gonna ferry you to this platform. And you're gonna get off, and then you're gonna go up to the ship.
Okay.
And I know you won't be impressed, because it's very unimpressive. Completely unimpressive. But don't worry about that.
Okay.
hmm
You're making a point of this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
Oh,
Okay.
just a little.
And so,
I
Gretna,
I don't get
so
sarcasm.
are you gonna wait for everybody, or are you gonna go into the teleportation circle, Erastus?
I'll go in. Because I'm
Alright.
doing what I'm told.
Yep.
Well,
Give me
you
one
don't
second.
have to, I guess, I don't know. I would probably contact Flimp and say, okay, Flimp, there's one here.
They walked away.
Yep. He
What?
says. Oh, he says. Yep. Yeah. But bring everyone in. That's good. Good.
Well,
Good.
one at a time, I gotta, ferry him back and forth. I'll be
Oh,
back.
right. The boat. Yes, I understand.
Yeah,
I show
okay.
up.
Alright. See ya.
Umber's walking on the water.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to summon you in. Hold on.
Holding a flame elemental core in my hand. Like a fucking hand warmer.
Housewarming gift.
I got a bomb. No.
Yeah.
not the place.
So the first thing you notice is that the ship is
brought a crock
actually
pot.
the ship is actually much more boxy than you expected. At the same time, it is brilliant gold. You can tell where the nautiloid shell might have been at one point, and I'm going to give you the representation. It's not perfect. It's close. Hold
It's
on.
the Borg cube.
No, you'll see. It's very impressive. But hold on 1 second. But it's very clear that. But it's very, very clear that that what he's done is basically encapsulate the nautiloid shell, so that you can only barely see the bottom, and you can't really tell anymore that this was nautiloid. The startling thing that you notice is the elemental ring around the ship itself. Those are impossibly hard to do. And you would know this, Erastus. That means that he has somehow trapped a fire primordial deep inside the ship on top of
Wait,
this.
a primordial.
Correct.
So
That's
god.
the only way they work. As far as you know, yes.
Like a Toro god.
As far as you know.
Well, I guess
Yes.
an Aber god.
As far as you know, yeah. That's the only ones that you know of that power these fabled ships. But again, you don't know the whole details. You'll have to talk to him. Let's see. Are you guys here? Can you see some of it? I'm gonna start streaming it too.
I can see it.
It is unfortunately not the most perfect representation because I just don't have the blocks. And I had to make it this way. You'll see because there's a bunch of interior.
I've just been on the place between boards for the entire time now.
Yeah. No,
I haven't even opened up Tailspire. I'm gonna.
here. Let me do this.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's pretty cool. It does look like a giant cube, but yeah.
It's the Borg, dude.
So,
Or
All
Dune.
right.
An alligator
Oh
head.
shit! This looks like some fucking Dune.
All right. So as you can see, there's a bunch of interior, which is why it has to be this way. But anyway, the other things, but it's completely gold. I just can't represent that. It's completely gold, very, very, very mechanical looking, but at the same time, and there are like small gears interlocked in this thing. It does actually have the Victorian kind of architecture though to it, and then it has this giant ring. And as soon as you come up on board, you actually come here, by the way. Here, let me show you. Let me start getting characters in there too. Here you go. Gretna, you're here. Max, you should be able to see it now. Max,
Max
that
and
help?
C are there already?
Yeah, I'm summoning you again. There you go.
It keeps jerking me to the edge of the ship. I don't like it.
Okay, so, all right. So it's actually a little bigger than this too, but I couldn't go through it. You'll see why this is all designed the way it is. But anyway, Flimp sees you immediately, and he says, "Oh, that's right, the genius turtle boy." He says, "So this is the my nautiloid that I've converted. Dangerous creatures. They kind of had to do the design the way that I did it. So could have made it nicer, but at the end of the day, this was the best that I could come up with." He says, and he points to the ring. He says, "That was actually the hardest part."
So,
Hey Gage, I can hear you from my office. I don't think your mic is working.
Yeah. I can't
Oh,
hear
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
It's still not working. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. You can see lights and other things from all these windows as well. Here, let me put it here. So you can see that there's these brilliant stained glass windows. Yep. There's also these are all stained glass windows that you cannot see, that are shining like multicolored light in the front of it as well if you look at the stream.
What I said was, yeah, divinity and stasis, that's pretty cool.
Not exactly divinity, but close. These are actually from a different plane, but
Like this, and I'll show him my fire elemental core.
he says, yes, a bit like that. But the thing is that they're not so. Let me just put it this way: we had to make a deal. It's kind of like, it's tough. It's almost like indentured servitude, but not really. I have to make it worth their while. On top of that, you can't just take one against their will, or as soon as they're released.
Sounds like you did.
Ship. It is complicated, kind of a trick to be honest, but I'll teach you about it one day. However, that said, once he is released though, at the very least, he won't be destroyed by ship.
So you have an Afridi. You have a bunch of Afridi.
Something like that. Not exactly Afridi, actually. But one day maybe we can discuss it. He said, however, I did have to design the ship so that the Nautiloid itself could not communicate. That was the tough thing. The Nautiloid is still alive, my boy.
It'd be very bad if they reached the collective.
Exactly.
I'm furiously
you going-
taking notes.
You going Lantern way?
He says, well, actually, we were going to head up north. But then, of course, we heard some news. And what do you know again? You guys can all be here by this time. Gretna can come back. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, apparently a vampire consumed a god in the north. So going there, probably not the most prudent. Also, I did a little calculations on the way. The thermal spread's intense. It's only going to get worse the further north you go.
Said yes. He said that's kind of what we have come to as well. He sees you finally, Gretna, and his eyes light up, and he goes over and he hugs you.
Hey, but keep it in your perspective.
He says, I'm so glad we got to see each other so soon. This is great.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. And he says, so
They're
So
like
given
short
this,
Pomeranians.
yeah, he said,
Yes.
given the circumstances, I didn't really feel like it was safe to just leave Gretna there. So yeah, I will take you wherever you need to go.
I
Happy.
like shrugging my shoulders like, yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, is the campaign gonna be won through like banging the Uber driver?
And
No.
and so he says, by the way, do you see those two things on top? These are terrible representations. They do look like giant metallic, basically like these basilisk things that are meant to basically attack other things. However, there's giant crystals sitting in the center of them. They're also made out of some kind of gold, metal, or brass or something.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally know what that is.
He says, that is our insurance policy. I actually brought those out. Normally I don't actually arm the ship, but, well, it seems like this is probably the right thing to do.
Well, okay. Lantern, we're thinking about there. We're thinking about Tashalar.
Lantern? I said, I suppose we could go to Lantern. Lantern's not my favorite place these days, but I could drop you off. He says, understand they're not very, how do I put this? They're not very happy folk that are friendly, and they're not very open either. But I thought you didn't go to Lantern.
I don't.
He said, well, I'm happy to drop you off. It's just I don't know that they'll be very welcoming. Especially not with any gnomes or ex-students, but I could try to put in a good word for you, but I don't really have a bunch of pull there these days.
Well, I feel like, given all that I know, freeform, they might make an exception in my case and maybe help our friends out, considering this one's from, well, never mind.
Umber stares daggers at you for a second, after looking up from his notebook.
To be honest, if you were going to do researching, I would suggest going to Candlekeep. But you do need a book,
north.
though.
We're trying not to go there.
Yeah,
We're trying to figure out how to help everything. So the place we should go is the place where we can figure that out the best.
Lantern's okay.
He said Lantern. He looks at you, Grant. He says, Lantern does have a large library. It's just, I think it's going to be a little hard to convince the gnomes of Lantern that you're just going to walk in and help. I could be wrong. But again, Candlekeep is also a little hard. That said, the Avowed are sworn to protect Faerun, not just Candlekeep. So I think they would have a little more incentive there to help. That said, though,
The gnomes of Lantern are more militaristic than the Avowed.
Yeah, that is true.
If we need might, we can get it from there.
At least we've narrowed it down to 2 places pretty quick.
Well, there's also Tashalar.
Which place would you go?
What, huh?
We talked about this. Divination.
Oh, right.
There's Divination and Tashalar.
Right.
There's Candlekeep. Then there's Lantern.
I don't want to go to Candlekeep.
Well, I'm just weighing around.
My guess, by the way, is that the Lord's Alliance is already mobilizing forces. That said, I don't know how effective they'll be. Worst case, and he looks at you, Gretna, worst case if things get bad, we can always leave.
We
Yeah,
could
I
try
guess.
and find that thing, the thing that Jace wants.
He said, yeah, I do hate to say it, but, and obviously we can't save many, but, well, given my affinity to Gretna, and he looks at you, Gretna, he said, I would be more than willing. We don't have a ton of space, but I do have enough space if we did have to leave, and I do mean Faerun. Well, I would allow you to stay.
But I don't want to play Spelljammer.
He looks at you like he has no idea what you're talking about.
That was out of character.
Which?
I think we should all just have a meeting and talk about it.
Of course.
Where would you go, sir, if this was your choice?
He says, if Well,
Let's
he
imagine
says to,
you weren't
he says-
kicked out of Lantern.
he says to be honest, I do have to go pick up my crew. So I have to go there first. But he said, well, if it were me, he said I would probably scout out the north, find out exactly how bad the damage was without actually going into Icewind Dale. Then I would, if I had the means to it, start going to different places in the Lord's Alliance to see what's actually going to become of this. To be honest, he said, I'm not truly that worried. I mean, there are powerful wizards, I know a couple, as a matter of fact, that can certainly try to deal with situations like this. That said, this is certainly a first.
Yeah, I'd like that.
We help or we don't is the big thing. Either we spend our time preparing, or we actually try, like he said, find out what's going on.
What are the capabilities of this ship if we're going to go scout out the north? How long do we have to be there? If it's
Well, he
dangerous?
says to be honest, I can get us to the north in 4 days. He says, and that's without using any of the planar drives. I can get us there in seconds if I activate them. Here's the real problem, though. I'm kind of in the middle of a situation. Have you heard of the Gith? Githyanki?
No.
Have we?
Well, he says,
Yes.
well, they're kind of violent space pirates, some of them, and well, I kind of have a bounty out on our ship from the last venture that we went into Greyhawk with, and so because of that, I'm a little hesitant to actually activating the and he points up to the elemental core. He says, but if I had to, I would, of course.
Let's not.
Yeah. He said, so traditional travel, it would take me just 4 days or so to get to the north. He says, I can actually go anywhere with this ship. The only thing is we will have to make sure that our altitude is sufficiently...
Wait.
Yep.
Oh,
He
sorry.
said-
No. He just says wait, and he pulls out his book while he keeps talking. 4 days. He's like talking about 4 days. You can make it to Lanton in 9 hours.
He said, yes. We can make it to Lantern relatively quickly. I can make it to Chult in no time at all. Here's the biggest problem, though. If wherever we decide to go, no matter what, I do have to pick up my crew. So you'll just have to stay with me until then.
Where were they?
He said they're actually in Neverwinter.
Fuck.
Ooh,
Yeah.
right in the heart of it.
That's why I need to go relatively quickly, unfortunately.
Why'd
He
you
says
let him
now-
go a continent away?
He says, once, my boy, if you ever learn about how planar travel works, you'll understand. But unfortunately, they had to take leave because of our last trip. You'll see. This is I'm really hesitant because I don't want to bore everyone, but you see, the air spoils. You only have around 4 months, and there's this thing called Philelin sickness. And what that means is that you're breathing in your own recycled air until it spoils. And unfortunately, the only way to fix this is to get off and land. And, well, the group wanted to go to Neverwinter. They had actually never seen it. So I said that would be fine. I wanted to come to Calimport myself. So that's why we had split up. And I am so glad that I did. And he winks at you, Greta.
I actually would like to see Neverwinter. I've only ever read about it.
And you're
He
saying
said,
so
Jewel of the North, my boy. It is the Jewel of the North.
I'll turn to the party. Just Neverwinter.
That's correct. Just Neverwinter.
Not. I'm talking to everyone else.
I-
No more north than
I
Neverwinter.
probably should have asked this earlier, but are Max and Sia there as well?
Yeah, you guys would be there by now. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were still at the hotel,
gotta go back.
sorting stuff out there.
No, Gretna had said that she was taking everybody. So
Oh.
if you guys didn't want
I'd
to,
wait for them if they wanted to do stuff. So if we have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go back and get for that, that's fine.
This is my deal. Considering what Pan was saying, this is what I can do. We'll go to Neverwinter, get his people, and then we'll go to either Tashalar or Lantern.
Or Candlekeep.
No, Candlekeep is still north, because if I have to leave after that, go to Ahoy Hoy, I have to walk like a month farther.
We actually go
he
past.
says, listen, he says, if you absolutely have to go to Ahoy, I will do whatever I need to keep Gretna safe. So if you really have to go to Ahoy Hoy, I'd rather you're
She's not
not.
gonna go with me. She's gonna stay here.
Oh, well, that's a different story then.
You shouldn't have said that.
Is Neverwinter north or south of Candlekeep?
Candlekeep is actually south of Neverwinter.
So we have to pass through it anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. We would.
That's what I thought so. I was just making sure. So I don't think you've got your geography right there, Erasmus.
No, I do, but I thought we had to get his crew first, and then we're gonna go to Candlekeep and spend time there. I would really like to get back south, and I feel like I've been very compromistic.
Well, he says honestly, if the group really needs to get to Chult or whatever, I'd rather fly you than have Gretna walk.
No.
I say we pick up your crew, and on the way we talk about it. Let's just get going.
Well, the step one of all these plans is go to Neverwinter, so we gotta do that no matter what we do.
Right.
So fine, but
He says, yeah. So unfortunately, I am a little worried about my crew, but I've been sending them messages. They seem to be okay for now. But Neverwinter had quite the. Well, you'll see.
hey, do you happen to know a guy? Well, you probably don't know him. Never mind.
He says,
Special
he says,
Teddy?
well. He says, Beshel Tenny. He says, oh, that's right. I've heard of this. Isn't Beshel Tenny that he is a Tortil, right? Artificer?
Yeah. He's got
He
a
said-
he doesn't like Lantern at all.
Well, yes. Actually, I did meet Beshel Tenny years ago.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I did.
How tall is he?
Oh, I think he's much taller than you.
Shit, you did meet him.
Yeah. He says, but it was years ago.
How many years ago?
Many, 40 maybe.
Okay, that was after I left him.
Yeah.
Why can't Sue just write in her book to him?
She hasn't seen him before.
I have to be familiar with whoever I write to, although having his full name is half the battle. I could possibly try to. I say as I try to pull up Sio's sheet, see if she has detect thoughts, which I think she does.
Yep.
I do.
Just say knowing is
So-
half the battle.
So if
What
you have
did you talk
detect,
about?
so here's what I will allow. If you have detect thoughts, Erasmus is very familiar with him. So if you do detect thoughts on Erasmus to understand and know everything about him, and Erasmus, you're going to actively think about him, I can allow that.
I could do that, Erasmus, if you wanted to find out about the mentor.
But you would have to be in his head, and you'll have to explain that to Erasmus. But yeah.
Right. Well, Erasmus, if you really wanted me to go ahead and try to contact your mentor, there is a spell. It can be invasive, but if you're willing to work with me, so long as you actively think about your mentor, I'll be able to perceive those thoughts of him, become more familiar with him, and after putting his name in my book, I should be able to contact him, see if anything's amiss in a way. But it's entirely up to you and your willingness to let me.
Okay. But okay. But real quick, what did you talk to Beshel Tinney about? I'm gonna turn back to the captain.
Yeah. Well, To be honest, I actually went there after. So there's this thing on the island, if I remember correctly. I don't really. The Order of Icarus or something to that effect. They had recently come to the island because there were these strange mages. I actually came there for the mages, some kind of chronomancy magic. And while I was there, I met your teacher.
And he was fixing it, right?
Oh, kind of. What I do remember is that he went on and on talking about Tortle lifespan and how he was on a breakthrough or something. But
That crazy son of a bitch actually did it. Wow. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I do hope so. If it's a real issue, he did tell me that Tortles in this realm only live for 50 years, which is not as long as you would hope a Tortle would live. But
Yeah, we get killed by the call.
yeah.
But, okay, Seal, do it. Seal, do it.
Oh, okay. Well, just actively think about Veshel Tenney, anything and everything you know about him, and
I want to put his picture in the chat.
do that. And Chris, do I need to have Erastus fail the wisdom save, or can I?
I'll choose to fail.
Level?
Yeah.
I'll
So
choose to fail.
he can choose to fail the wisdom save, but
Okay.
what I want you to do to see how far you breach. Hold on one second.
That's what he looks like.
No, that's actually fine. He can just choose to fail the wisdom save. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So Erastus, what memory do you think of for Sio?
I'm going to think of when I was taught the temperature reduxes of different types of alloys, which is a very wholesome memory.
Oh. All right. Okay. So Sio, you now know what he looks like, and you know what he sounds like, and you're vaguely familiar with him enough that you can write his name.
He was 4 years old, pounding on the first piece of iron to try and bend it over. Could not do it. I was shit at artificery.
Well, look how far you've come. And Sia will go ahead and write out Veshel Tenney's name in the book, and she'll try to cast Sending.
Yep.
Veshel Tenney, this is Sio, friend of Erastus. He wants to come to Ahoy Hoy.
Ooh.
Is concerned that something is wrong on the island.
Call him sir.
confirm? Sir? Can you confirm, sir?
I think that
He's
was more than
really mean
25
and kind of
minutes.
grumpy. He's kind of mean and grumpy and old, so.
So after 5 minutes, you get a message back, and it says, "You know Erastus? Prove it."
Erastus, what is something only Veshel Tenney would know about you?
I hid chocolates under the floorboards of my room.
And Sia will start.
Write that in your book. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll chuckle and write back. Erastus tried to hide chocolates under the floorboards of his room from you when he was younger.
He says, "Okay, great. Where's Erastus?"
Currently Calimport. However, we are concerned about the state of Ahoy Hoy. Is there something wrong?
Tell him I finished the armor.
Erastus would also like me to mention he finished the armor, sir.
He said, "Well, when Erastus gets back, I have good news for Erastus. But I need to understand how Erastus is alive, number one. Number two, tell him how the hell, where did he go? Where did you disappear to?"
Erastus met me And Sia will relay that to Erassus, and she'll start writing back. Erassus met me in Luskin. We were contracted by Arcane Brotherhood to delve into the Tomb of Horrors. Time dilation had 50 years pass in a few weeks.
He says, okay, let me talk to Erassus. Have Erassus message me.
Fleming, sir, do you have the means to grant sending to someone else?
Raz is crying in his helmet right now. So, like, happy tears.
You're asking that to Flimp?
Yeah, Flimp, sorry. I called his dog's name by accident.
My dad's alive.
He says, no, I don't think that's how it works. Wait, why?
I have means of casting it myself, but cannot extend it to other people.
The smartest man that's ever lived is still alive.
Seal will write back to Besheltini. I apologize, sir, but I don't have the means of granting Erassus the ability to cast Sending. I can ask him to tell me messages verbatim to respond to you.
He says, I see. Is there anyone from the Arcane Brotherhood with you?
Thankfully not.
He says, well, I don't trust you, but bring me Erassus.
Sir, I would be happy to. However, we will have to delay travel should Ahoy not be in imminent danger.
He says, also, tell Erassus probably not the best thing to come home. We should meet somewhere else. Erassus is the ruler of Ahoy now. Not sure how he's alive. Need to see this myself.
Meet me in Tashlar. Meet us at Tashlar.
Erassus, what does he mean by you're the ruler of Ahoy? I thought it was just leadership.
Shit, dick.
He wants to meet you somewhere. He's worried you coming back to Ahoy will frighten people, since you shouldn't theoretically be alive.
Well, if he goes away and he was gonna burn it to the ground, we should meet at Tashlar. Ooh, we're Candlekeep. He can fucking fly.
He says, he writes back to your book. He says, if Erassus comes here, he's probably most certainly dead.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he says, unfortunately, there are many, many people that will want to see him dead now that he's the rightful ruler. On top of it, turtles no longer run Ahoy.
But
could you meet us at Teshlar or Candlekeep? Who rules Ahoy now?
He says, oh, tell Erassus I can... he said, by the way, tell Erassus that I can move my house. He'll be super excited.
Erassus, he has the ability to move his whole house?
Pikachu face.
There's like a squeak.
Yeah.
He squeaked in excitement, sir. Tashlar or Candlekeep?
He said the damned Arcane Brotherhood brought misery here, but worse, those damned Dunamancy mages really screwed things up.
Kill Matt Mercer. I'm gonna kill him.
He said, yeah, I was conned into thinking that was the answer, but it wasn't. But I figured it out on my own.
Erassus, is your mentor... How old is he again?
He didn't like asking about his age. Or wait, don't do it.
Well, he's
over 700?
Then he's a little senile.
What do you mean?
I've asked him 3 times, Candlekeep or Teshlar, and I get more...
No. That's just his eccentricities. That's his eccentricities. He kind of does his own brain thing, and you have to, like, suss out. Just keep asking him.
Are-
He'll eventually get there. He kind of like works at a different speed.
Okay. Sir, are the Arcane Brotherhood in Teshlar or Candlekeep? Do you know?
He says, no, he says I have to go to Candlekeep anyway. Meet you in Candlekeep when?
Now.
Clem, sir, how long would it take us to get to Candlekeep?
He says, well, we do have to stop in Neverwinter, but probably 3 days. 3 days is it'll only take us 2 to get to Neverwinter. Yeah, that's if I really push things. And then less than a day to get to Candlekeep. So let's say 3 days.
Okay.
Let's say 3 days.
Sir, Special Tenny, 3 to 4 days. 3 is our best estimate. 4 should things go awry.
He sees you writing his book. He says, do you actually have entrance to Candlekeep?
To the best of our knowledge, I don't know.
Because I used to have something, but I don't have anything anymore. But good luck. You need a book that they don't have.
Sio, ask if he found the solution to the call.
Sir, did you happen to find the solution to the call?
That's the last thing.
Is about to lose his mind.
No, but I did find a way for Erasmus to live a normal lifespan.
Yeah.
That's why I want to see him.
Rastus, he did not, but what does he mean a normal lifespan? That's why he wants to see you, is he found a way for you to live a normal lifespan, but does he mean his, or...
Yeah, I've got like 6 months to live. So.
What?
Yeah, I kind of theorized I've been feeling the call. And it kills us all, eventually. So that's good news. Don't be mad at me. I didn't want to say anything.
Sio's not mad. She looks really fucking scared.
This is good news. My dad's alive. Well, I mean, Bestial Chain's alive.
Why didn't you say something sooner? Why didn't you say that to begin with?
It was my problem.
Your problem, Erastus, it's our
And
problem.
I didn't even know he had fixed it. I didn't know he fixed it.
Well, even if he didn't, I don't want to lose you.
All right. And on that note, we will end it there and then start going. Yeah, I expected things to go differently, so this is always fun. One thing to keep in mind, though, we're not on the main. We're not hitting the main arc yet. Once we hit the main arc, things will get faster. We're close, though.
Jesus Christ.
I was just wondering.
This is not the main arc.
I was just wondering if we could, retcon back 30-40 minutes back to when we were in the hotel.
Yep.
I wanted to sort out some things like...
Yeah. Let's do that real quick.
Be right back. Go for it.
So, Max will head into the hotel, gather up his stuff, and he'll go through everyone's rooms to make sure no one's left anything behind, because we kind of left there in a rush, to be honest.
Yep.
At this point, Sio was still in the hotel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she would still be there. Yeah.
But I would have been done touching everything in about 20 minutes, right? Before Max showed up?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. And as Max finishes...
Oh no, I'm super sorry. I'm sorry, Max. Dude, this is really important to me. Sorry, guys. In Tailspire, can you guys actually, in your clients, see the fog?
Well, I'm still in a place between borders, so I didn't get summoned.
God damn it. Hold on. Let me see if this summons you. Did anyone see it in their client or no?
I see.
Yes,
fog.
there's like
You
a
see,
cloud layer
clouds?
at the bottom of the
Okay.
map, yeah.
Oh, good. All right. Thanks.
I
Sorry,
think
Max.
I think I might have to rejoin it.
Okay.
But anyway.
Yeah, I'll get you a code. Anyway, go. But yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Max will goes around, checks everyone's rooms, making sure we've gotten everything. And he's gonna walk up to CO as she seems sort of a bit sort of, I guess, mindless and lost by the way she's just loosely going around tapping things with her staff. And Max is going to go over and just say, hey, how are you feeling, CO?
Wait. I'm sorry. I need to clarify. Chris,
Yep.
Is Max seeing CO touching things or no? Because that's dangerous.
So here's the thing. I think if Max had come in the room and you weren't finished, you would stop, is my guess, correct?
Yes.
So Max, yeah,
absolutely.
you wouldn't
Acts
be able
like
to see
nothing
anything.
happened.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't see any of that.
You
Sorry.
would be awkwardly walking around the room at that point, but
Yeah.
would not. You can't know what that is.
Yeah. So even so, you just seem a bit lost. So Max will still ask if you're doing all right.
I don't know, to be quite honest. And she's not looking you in the eye. She's kind of fidgeting with her hands, and then she'll just go to like cross her arms, and she's just gonna go back to pacing by the boozy strawberries.
Like you said to me earlier this morning, all this stuff that's going on in our lives, we can get through this. We can figure it out. And I'm sorry for how, I guess, hard I was on Erastus earlier. You asked me once before to help him break out of his metaphorical shell, so to speak, to get some confidence in himself, and I wanted to remind him of all the things he's done that I know of and how much he's actually accomplished. I may have gone too far in some areas, but I think it was necessary, and I can understand if you're mad at me for that, but I won't apologize for what I said.
You'll see CO take a really deep breath. I am glad you came to that conclusion on your own, Max, because I don't think you understand how hurtful what you said was. And she's gonna finally turn and look at you, and you can tell she looks really tired, but she also looks really frustrated. There's no reason, none at all. I get that you're a strong person mentally and physically, but in what world is breaking him down, reminding him of being a cripple, calling him stupid, pointing out everything that poor kid is insecure about, and then telling him he can't do it on his own because he'll get everyone he knows killed, showing him that you care? I had half a mind to just take Erastus and leave then and there. But not only that, you have the audacity to apologize to me instead of him. Do you understand how hurtful that was? And after everything we've been through, you and Umbra, even Gretna and Shakulu had the audacity to stand here in front of him and say how much you care and how much you love for him. But you said such vile things about him. How could you do that?
I don't want to see him get himself killed. I hate the thought of losing a friend. I hate the thought of losing a comrade, someone you've fought alongside, someone you've shared tough experiences with. I hate that. And Max is trying to, you can tell he's trying to slow his breathing when he says this, and he says, I get that you've known Erasmus for the longest out of anyone here, but he's done some things that has put his life in incredible danger, and to some extent the rest of the parties. And in this world, you can't afford to put you can't afford to take those kinds of risks if you're not confident in your own abilities. And Erasmus, he's by all means a genius. He's incredible, the things he can do, but he can't see that in himself. He can only see it in his abilities, and I know he can do great things. It's just I need to help. I'm trying to help him realize that, and I will make things right with him. It was bothering me. I needed to get it off my chest. I felt a need to remind him of how real this world is, and how in one moment if you fuck up, you can lose everything that you care about.
Well, as someone who's been around him, Max, I can tell you that no one wants to hear how insignificant and incapable they are, and then be told Erasmus is not someone, and I'm not either. No one should be talked to like that, Max. I get it was coming from a place of good intention, but it's not fair, and it's not fair to say such kind and gracious things about everyone only to berate him in front of everyone else in the party. I know he seems fine now, but those things cut deep for him. If you truly care, then come from a place of care and understanding like Pan did. They pointed out that we support him in his endeavors to go to Ahoy to figure out what he needs to do as the rightful leader, but to do it the right way, not to avoid doing it because he's stupid, incapable, and anything else. That we need to take time and plan to do it right, not because he's incapable or incompetent or he threatens to kill anyone.
I was merely just trying to get him to do it in his own way, make him recognize that he can do it. You've recognized this here. He's far more talented than I will ever be, than majority of the rest of the group will ever be. He can do these kinds of things, but right now he's lost, and he does need our support. And sometimes people just need to be brought to their lowest of lows before they can start getting up. I'm sure you've felt like that at least once in your life.
I have, But perhaps talking to him personally about this would be the best place to start. Offer him a hand to get up.
I will. I can promise you that.
Look, we need to get the rest of our things and we need to go. I
Yep.
imagine the rest of them are already waiting.
I'll need to discuss a few things with Xiles, but you go on ahead. I'll catch up.
I'll wait.
Okay. And Max will take his backpack and sling it over his shoulder, and he'll head towards the front desk where Xiles will be.
I gotta go, guys. Okay, so good night.
Yeah.
Nighty
full
night. Yeah.
And,
But
yeah,
a lot of stuff happening.
and
Oh, damn it! I didn't get my last restoration.
Oh shit.
And just quickly with Xiles, he'll just explain to him the situation, and say that gonna have to be leaving a little bit earlier than he's paid for, but I do hope he understands that his service was most enjoyable, and we did enjoy our positive times here. And he'll set the key down on in front of Xiles and head out towards the boat.
Before you leave with Xiles, he will say, "It was a pleasure having you as guest. I hope you choose our establishment again."
I'm sure we will once everything settles down again.
This is excellent. Well, see everyone later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our pictures
Cool.
behind the
Yeah, we
boat,
can stop it there. Like I said, things will get faster because we're close to the main arc. So
and we level up.
Is it
No,
possible
no,
for us to
not
get
yet.
Cthulhu's money back as well as we're leaving? Realizing he probably did not think ahead to do that either.
But
yeah, Shakula got his room separately. Yeah, Shakula, that's fine. You can ask for your money back too. That's okay.
Yeah, cool.
You're only getting a portion of it back, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah. How much would Max get back?
I have to look. I think you paid. Do you remember how much gold you paid overall?
So I paid for 6 rooms for 3 nights.
Yeah.
And I paid for meals for all of us on those for those.
Right, but do you remember how much you paid? I'm trying to find it. Do you remember
Yeah.
how much you paid for just the rooms?
He
He can't refund you the meals, but that was only
Yeah.
like 5 gold. Yeah.
If I remember how much the suit cost me, I can figure out how much the rooms cost me. How much was the suit? Was it like 400 gold or something? 150?
We set a running tab at some point. Let me see.
I can go back and
But I just need to find it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's going to be so whatever the amount is, and I'll find it. It's going to end up being he'll give you back like 30% of whatever that amount was.
It was what, 15 gold per room? Well, per day?
Per room per night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be 15 times 6. It'd be.
He would give you back like 30% of that. So hold on.
It'd be roughly about. I would have paid roughly 270 gold, I think. No.
Yeah, that sounds close to that. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
The reason I can't find it is because I'm charging my mouse right now. So
270 gold for 6 rooms for 3 nights. That's 90 times 3.
Yep.
So we've stayed 1 night.
So you would get back 90 gold, I
Okay.
believe. Yep.
I'm gonna head out real quick. I'm getting really sleepy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no worries, guys. We're way over time.
Hopefully
Yeah.
next week we can talk a little bit about the grand project and the call, and a little bit about Portal history.
Yeah.
Me and Chris
Nice.
have come up with some like really neat custom things.
That's
that might pertain
awesome.
to why Erasmus is apparently 6 months away from death.
Cannot believe you did not start that whole discussion with "I'm in imminent fear of death."
Oh, he wasn't afraid of it because it was, like, as far as he knew, inevitable. So, do the most he could. Yes.
You're
What's your reasoning for? Oh, I'm not going to tell them I'm dying. That won't convince them to leave me alone and let me go.
Why be sad?
What?
He was already fucking